Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to Slayers. The first time we have featured this game here on Sword and Key, but okay, I'm going to unmute myself and meet as the voice of God has instructed me to do so, which also means I need to find the tab. But hey, while I'm doing that, thank you for joining us for the first game of the Sword and Key October Charity Month. I am Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. I am the Sword Have Sword and Key, and I'm joined by these very lovely individuals all around me who have decided to take time out of their lives to raise money for charity. I'll raise money for NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. And like I was saying, this is the first time we featured this game, made by Spencer Campbell from Gila RPGs. Highly recommend checking out his stuff. He's been on our Sword and Teas before with a number of great games, and Slayers was definitely one of those that I have had sitting on my shelf that I told myself I would run one of these Halloweens, and it turned out it was this one. Probably won't be the last time because it's a really cool game that we'll talk about here in just a minute. I do want to say right off the top that there are incentives to donating to NAMI throughout our October charity month for our one shots and also our Night of Fright 2 shot, which is our Scooby Doo D&D game coming up tomorrow. So you can find all of those incentives and the way to donate through the Tiltify link that you can see in chat, as well as on all of our social media. If you are willing and able, both those being important together, those factors important together, to donate, it's very much appreciated. It goes towards a great cause and can help us have a little bit more of an interesting time here. So, I also want to say that this is a Sword and Key game. We are raising money here at Sword and Key. So you can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. All of our socials, all of our affiliate ships, all of our other ongoing philanthropic endeavors. Humblewood is raising money for Fauna and Flora International. Zenith is raising money for PCRF, Palestine Children's Relief Fund, and many more. We're always raising money for a number of great causes. So if you got a couple extra bucks sitting around and you don't know what to do with them, here you go. I'm going to stop talking for a second and have these lovely individuals introduce themselves and maybe say a little bit about their characters, because this is a game that does have character classes as well, or even archetypes if you want to consider them that way. So, Erin, if you don't mind starting us out, who are you? Who are you playing?
Hello, I'm Erin. I am playing my pronouns are she, her, and I am playing the gunslinger January.
Fantastic. Yes, if you haven't checked out our content warnings, this game is one of those games that does have gunslingers. If that is a content issue for you, please take care of yourself first and foremost. This game will also have like body horror and monster horror and all different types of like bloodborne stuff. So yeah, take care of yourself first and foremost. Next up, Val.
Well, hi, that me. Hi, I'm Val, or Space Valkyries. My pronouns are she, they. I'm playing Hawthorne, pronouns are they, them, who is a blade, and they're definitely not a perfectionist at all. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Definitely not a character trait. Definitely not. We play completely different characters than ourselves here. I think that's fair to say. I've never believed in character bleed. I think it's made up.
No
Uh,
projection whatsoever.
Not even a
Totally
little
not.
bit. Next up, Bree.
Hi, I'm Bree. My pronouns are she, they, or any. I really don't care that much. This is Meryl. She's being very clingy. I'm sorry. Uh, I will be playing Ruby, an Arcanist, pronouns they, them, who is a burned out gifted kid, and
Yeah,
so
again, not
tired.
no character bleed at all. Uh, thank you, Bree. Last, absolutely not least, Seth.
Hi, my name is Seth. My pronouns are she and they. I will be playing Leo, pronouns he, him, who has a day job in retail and works out the aggression by killing things. So definitely no bleed there either.
Not even a little bit. Oh, wow. What a game. This is Slayers. Like I said, this is a game made by Spencer Campbell from Gila RPG. This game is unique in that it uses 4-point asymmetry for characters. And what it means by that, because that's a really big phrase, but I think it's cool, is that each of these classes, the gunslinger, the arcanist, the blade, and the tactician, which we don't have because there's no nerds around here. Uh, each of those classes play the game completely differently. They use dice differently, they use different types of dice, and each of them have like different niches that they fall into. So with that said, we're going to have maybe some questions on rules and stuff, but hey, we're playing for the first time, and that's okay. It is kind of a rules light game, which is also why it's really fun to jump into. Slayers, to give a little background, is a game that takes place in the city. The city is very much to its name an ever expanding towards the horizon without border, endless mix and match of all different types of cultures and like it's like a billion cities all meshed into one where the borders of one run right up against another. You might have a desert environment running right up against a lush forest environment with no real issue between the two. Neighboring cities, neighboring parts of the city speaking completely different languages, yet still able to understand each other. All of these places fitting, much like our characters, into certain niches with bazaars and witchwoods and even a great ocean that spans a part of the city that you can, if you're daring enough, take the ferry across. So there's a lot of places to be, and travel can be weird in the city. Uh, but the main issue that the people find is not that the city seems to constantly be expanding and also compressing, much like the universe itself, and it's definitely not a comparison to that, but that the city, while it expands, perhaps it's doing this itself. Perhaps it's generating these creatures. Perhaps it is encroaching on an area that we cannot see, a place beyond the city itself where these creatures exist. But monsters will find themselves within the boundaries of the city, and much as monsters are wont to do, they do monstrous things. And so it is up to the slayers to resolve these issues, often with the tools that are presented to them, whether it be the pistol, the blade, or magic. So our slayers, as they often find themselves in guilds, go out every day, every night, constantly trying to be the hunter and not the hunted. And that is where we will pick up our game here. So let's go ahead and go around. There's lots of places that you could be in the city. So we'll start out, and I will say, where might we find your character on a day where a job hasn't come through? Maybe you haven't gone to the job board, or you do have a handler, and maybe they have not yet contacted you. What might downtime look like for your character? So, Erin, we'll start with January. What might January be up to on a quiet day or evening?
January can probably be found at the tavern. And she is fully at this point, like it is the afternoon. She is day drinking. And she has uh she has a lowball glass of scotch in front of her. She's chewing on a toothpick because she has recently quit smoking. And she is basically just, she can only do this so long until she itches to go out again and go on another hunt. But for now, she is just enjoying her downtime.
Okay. So the inn, I assume, hanging near the Slayers, the inn officially known as Slay a While, is absolutely accommodating to your needs. And I feel like your eye keeps kind of like ticking over to the job board, where every now and then you'll see maybe a greenhorn go over and take a job, and maybe like you know by heart all of the jobs that are posted there, and there's just every now and then you get that twitch in your eye, like, well, I'm not going to see that guy again. Val, where might we find Hawthorne on this inauspicious of days?
Well, Hawthorne, again, being totally not a perfectionist, would be probably practicing their blade work, either in the Coliseum or like in some sort of a tournament. They like to keep their wits very well trained, so they're not really taking a break because they're a tryhard.
Yeah, there absolutely is a Coliseum. It is part of the Agora. So Whereas you might be used to, the Slayer's Row, which has kind of like a, East London, maybe like early Victorian kind of vibe to it, with the stinky water that's always like pouring out in the streets and rats that scurry by every now and then. The Agora is like walking into that section of the city immediately feels like warmer, this red sun that blazes down at you, and the smell of like sand and blood just permeates everywhere. And you might find yourself in the arena surrounded by cheering fans as you yourself are like wiping the blood off of your blade, sweating a little bit. um let's go to Ruby. Bree, where would we find Ruby?
Ruby is probably in the library,
Okay.
writing down, probably working on something that they were procrastinating and supposed to have turned in the night before. Something like scribing spells or something.
Fair
Just
enough.
trying to catch up. Very,
Yeah,
very tired.
Librarium is an entire district here. It's an entire part of the city with this great Umphalos, this like lighthouse at the center that you would know is impossible to reach until it's not, and God help you when it's not. So you would find yourself, in a dusty place full of dusty books, trying to fight off an asthmatic attack. Though you may not even have asthma, being around this much dust is definitely making it hard to stay awake as you're pouring through book after book, and just old white guy writing. um yeah, it's topical to what we were saying right before the game. It's an inside joke. Seth, where might we find Leo? What might he be up to?
If Leo is sleeping in, he's probably at the flesh market, trying to get a good deal on that, like just a big slab of steak for dinner.
Is Leo in like considering where the steak comes from?
Absolutely not.
Okay, all right, that makes it cheap. And you know what, sometimes you got to take that flank steak, and sometimes you don't ask where that flank steak come from. Sometimes that flank's pretty big, and it's still pretty cheap.
You throw it on a grill with some butter, it's good. It doesn't matter.
Yes, yes, that is a good life lesson for every. Hey, you in college, butter, it saves you. Hey, country crock, it's not butter, it's close enough. Great. As you all are reaching this point in the evening where the sun is beginning to droop lower into the sky, the Colosseum is dying down. Hawthorne has made it another day. Ruby, like, you find yourself jolting back awake as the candles are dying down in this dusty back corner of the library. January, the bartender's just like, all right, like, you've been here all day. It's time. He's looking at his imaginary watch. And Leo, as the steak is getting packed up for you, you would have a familiar sensation that I think is perhaps something that January you might have been waiting for all day, and it's this pressure in your pocket that that where you might not have found anything there a moment before, you were going to find a note in it now, a note from your handler, Mr. Graves, calling you all to a job. And if you were to open this letter, it would tell you that you were wanted in the clerical district, where apparently one of the main factions of the city, one of the main religious orders. And religion is weird. Faith is weird in the city with all of these various different peoples. So the most predominant faith, as it exists right now, is the Church of the Cycle. And you are being called to the High Cathedral of the Cycle. It is a place that is broken into 5 subsets, which represent birth, growth, stability, decay, and death. The cycle. You begin, you end. Is there anything you all wanted to grab or do before answering this call?
I mean, I'm gonna eat my dinner.
For sure, yeah.
But so he may show up a little bit late, a little bit messy, but dinner comes first.
There is there's a courier gentleman, another faction in this city that is they're the ones that they both spread news. They attend to new people who might be incorporated in the city, whether the city has generated these people or whether the city has like incorporated something outside the walls that was another city. These people are called wanderers. They are a guild that considers themselves like stewards of the people. And you would be very familiar with a wanderer who would pull up to each of your locations in a pretty cozy stagecoach. It doesn't bump too much, despite whether it's on cobblestone streets or going through sand or whatever else. But a like late teens, maybe like just 17, kind of like filthy street rat looking kid named Ferret will pull up with the like a different horse every time. You're not sure where he's sourcing the horses, where his horse source is, but he pulls up, kind of like gives you a tip of the hat with like missing like different teeth every time, but he's like, "Well, Mr. Graves said it's time to go meet, so here we are." And he'll know that Leo is definitely the one to like get last, even though it's like all kind of simultaneous. You're not sure how fair it's all in the same place at once. Okay. So, as you all enter the carriage and are absconded away in what is far too short a time to traverse what is essentially like a country's distance from where you are to where you were expected to be, night has officially fallen, and the moon hangs heavy in the sky. This bright full moon that illuminates, even though the street lights are also illuminating quite well. And you pull up to this the massive cathedral, these large stone steps, these reliefs carved in by hands who are long since lost to memory. And you look up at all of these figures, all of these gargoyles and grotesques and figures of religious imagery that all kind of look down at you as this cathedral seems to almost like loom over top of you. And the wide oaken doors are open, where you can smell incense and hear almost like hymnal music coming from inside. Anything else you all want to do before stepping in?
I think Ruby almost fell asleep in the carriage, even though it was so short, and is like, "Oh God," as
Yeah,
they're getting
absolutely.
out.
Yes, as someone who also falls asleep on car rides, yes, I encourage that. Please, sleeping time is hard to come by. Okay, then yes, as you all jolt awake and step into the cathedral, you are kind of just like blasted with that the senses of religiosity, the many trappings that a large faith tends to pummel its practitioners with. A good faith will try to overwhelm you, all of your senses, all five of them, as you can even taste the incense in your mouth, as the soft wood of the pews and the hard stone of the floor almost like impacts your body in a significant way. There is a choir that seems to be practicing, as many candles are lit all about these great stained glass windows, and again all of these reliefs inside. And towards one of the far pews, you can see your handler, a familiar gentleman, Mr. Graves. He's an older man with a handlebar mustache that is gray except for two yellow stains right beneath his nose, because he is a smoker but always blows the smoke out of his nose, so it is stained over time. He's a fan of the monocle, which in many places of the city has gone out of fashion, but he thinks it makes him look fancy. So he will tuck that into his waistcoat when he is not strolling the street with his cane. But he is seated now, and he seems to be talking to another older gentleman who is wearing vestments. What would you all like to do?
Really wish y'all would pick somewhere else to have these meetings.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry, Leo. You see, we are going to be contracted, actually, by the church. And it just so happens that this is where we are requested to meet. And I apologize. I know your distaste for um, the faith side of things.
We couldn't find a table outside or somewhere that doesn't smell like rocks and ash.
People outside the church? They don't usually have those.
The dirt would be preferable to whatever is happening to my nose right now.
I will keep that in mind for next time. He hands you a handkerchief. This will smell of lavender if you would like to just, plug the nose.
He takes it, the vice grip between his forefinger and his thumb, and looks at it and goes, "No," and hands it back.
I think this is a really good time, since we have your characters' names, we know what they do, to maybe get a description of them as well. Leo, what is Leo's what is his outfit for going on a job?
Very long sort of trench coat style. Probably like no hat, no mask, anything like that. But prominent gun holsters on each side. I think he likes to be flashy, so he likes to show off the runes on his gun. They're definitely not inconspicuous in any way, shape, or form. They kind of stand out against the black leather of his coat. So he tries to just be like this tall, imposing figure of just looking as cool as possible, which oftentimes means you really don't look that cool.
Oftentimes, we're not going to say whether this is one of those times. The older gentleman that Mr. Graves has been talking to stands up with a creak on the pew and turns towards you, kind of straightening out these robes and the I can't remember what the word is, but it's the thing you wear when you graduate. The stole that goes over his shoulders. Found it. And he looks at you with this very weathered face, and he says, "Well, we are all making exceptions, as I often don't allow any weapons in my church, but I suppose if you'd really like some dirt, we can accommodate."
Okay, you don't have to be sassy about it. I was just saying it smells in here. Let's stay on topic.
Mr. Graves stands as well, straightens his waistcoat, and looks to all of you. "Well, I really appreciate your the fastness, the speediness that you all have done in coming here, as we have a very scary mission, special mission perhaps. You see, the Sybil here has had some concerns, and so we're looking to perhaps hire some of you all, as you are experienced and can adequately investigate without causing too much hubbub. So, yes, we have job and money."
Right. I don't know if Graves told you my rules. Don't do kidnappings. And if the monster seems sapient, I'm gonna give it a chance to explain itself before killing it.
Graves
Those
pulls
are
out
basically the two.
Graves pulls out a massive piece of paper that he's unfurling, and it's just gotten two things written in the top left corner. He's like, "Yes, no napping of children and no sentient whatever. Yes, I did say those things. Yes." What does January look like, Erin?
January is also a gunslinger, but a lot less flashy than Leo is. She is maybe mid to late 40s, salt and pepper hair. She wears like a battered rifle cut duster and has a revolver rifle strapped to her hip. And yeah, she looks a little bit jaded. She's been around the block a few times, probably been a hunter longer than anyone else here.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. So the Sybil will look to you. "Yes, I don't think this job will require any
taking of anyone's liberties, or I definitely don't suspect that this, whatever you're going to find will be of any particular sapience. If it is, I guarantee you it is one of immense evil that needs to be ridden from this world.
Right. People say that about a lot of stuff. So that's why I ask.
What I am asking is for you all to do your civic duty, as this is not any simple monster hunt, but this could cause the destruction of the entire city itself.
Hold on, civic duties. We're still getting paid, right?
You are still getting paid very handsomely by the church, in fact.
Then
Very well. What I'm asking you to do is to... What I fear is happening is, I should say, is that a contender, a break-off of the church, an unrecognized cult that split off long ago is... Well, I fear that their deeds are going to be the end of all of us. What do you know, any of you, of the cult of rebirth?
What do we know about the cult of
Hey, let's go ahead and do a roll. I think it's a great time to do a roll. Let's go ahead and do a roll. I think this will be a study roll.
Uh-oh.
We do
What
have
do
a
I-
skill list. We have agile, brawn, deceive, hunt, mend, negotiate, stealth, streets, study, and tactics. I could even see this as a streets roll. If you have streets or study,
Oh, I do
you
have
may
that.
use either of those. Yeah, all of the players should have at least a D6 in any of these skills. Anything above a 4 is a success. Anything below a 4 is a failure. They can have either a 6, an 8, or a 10, D6, D8, or D10 in any of these skills. Anybody get above a 4? Bree, okay. So Ruby, you would know that the Cult of Rebirth, whereas the Cult of the, or not the, I'm sorry, the Church of the Cycle, basically takes you from birth to death. The Cult of Rebirth was originally part of the church, and it basically made the cycle a circle. It was originally the Church of the Circle, basically saying that there is no end, that things just circle back around. That you are born, you die, and you are born once again. At some point, the church had a schism, and the Cult of Rebirth split off and has since been unrecognized by the main religion. It still exists in certain corners. There's still people who believe that the cult has a validity to it. But it's not the main faith as far as things go, and the Church of the Cycle sees them as antagonistic to their cause.
They're the ones who believe in the circle, right? Ones who...
Yes, please don't make that gesture in here. It's heretical. I will forgive you this time. But yes, they are the ones who believe that it is, there is no end. And we believe that without an end, that there can be no peace. And that is not what our church stands for. I have received word from several portions of the city that, from my clerical individuals out in the field, my clericals, that there have been several concerning items that have been stolen. I am hoping that you can investigate these particular thefts and track down their whereabouts, and if my suspicions are true, you put an end to whatever dark ritual they are trying to complete, and if not, then I will pay you all the same. Do you have any questions for either me or the Sybil, or otherwise I can send you with the first clue?
This doesn't sound like a regular hunt.
Well,
You're
you
asking
will
us
be
to find a group of people,
cultists,
people,
heretics, yes.
people, who may or may not be actually summoning or working with the things that we normally get contracted to kill. I'm gonna need to see some money up front. I don't know. I don't like this.
Sure, we can do money up front. The church has been very generous about this. And the Sybil kind of snaps his fingers, and a young cleric in very simple vestments walks over with like a small chest, and opens it up, and whatever currency we're using here, probably coins, opens that up, and it is just like, this is probably a year's worth of income.
The church is very concerned, and I hope this demonstrates our seriousness in asking you. Even monsters can appear as people, and you all hunt monsters.
Are you paying us to find out and stop if there's any monsters involved? Or are you paying us to get rid of a cult you don't like?
I am not asking you to eradicate a faith. I am asking you to look into suspicious behavior and stop any monsters you find along the way. If what you find is innocuous, I am not expecting you to be holy warriors or anything to stamp out a belief. We can do that just fine ourselves. I'm asking you to find those who have hidden themselves in the shadows and who might be even acting against the main portents of their own faith.
I think Hawthorne's gonna get bored of this. Like, fine, just tell us. Give me the actual directions. Where do I walk? What do I stab?
Oh, I love that question. I was a blade back in my day, and he gets that look in his eye that tells you he's going to tell a very long story. Oh, I'm sorry, I've told this one before. I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, there's a few places you could go. Um, the flesh market actually has had some thefts from there. The librarium, also, the Witchwood, and yes, I believe that is the list that I have for you. It's the three places there. So, um, if you will travel to those places, I believe they should be able to help you with what was stolen and perhaps point you in the right direction.
You couldn't have told me before this. I was already at the librarium.
Yes, but I was afraid that if I sent you by yourself, you'll die. Teamwork. It makes
Rude.
the dream work, right?
It was kind of rude. Possibly true, but still.
Yes, we are stronger in numbers. Remember, those who hunt alone die. I wish it was a better saying; it would be more memorable. Like it should rhyme or something, but no, it's very simple. We
I mean, if you
have
just
that above
added
all the doors.
alone to the end of it, it would be like 50% better.
See, like a light bulb goes off and says, "Good God, you've solved it. It's a great riddle. I must go. I must tell everyone. January will be a hero amongst the city, or at least amongst the Slayers. See if I remember by the time I get there." He pulls out the large piece of paper again. He's like writing down,
You
"Alone,
better.
remember."
I think Leo kind of nudges January. You better trademark that for.
I think he'll forget before he gets there. Right after this hunt, I'm going to the office.
So we have three places to go to. The Slayer's Row, which has the flesh market. The Witchwood, where you will be going to the Weird Way. And the Librarium, where you will be talking to the Children of St. Galen. I'm actually going to say Galen. It's two L's. I'm going to go with St. Galen. Where would you all like to go first? No wrong answers.
I like weird stuff.
Yeah.
Hawthorne has
Wanna
some
do Witchwood first?
preferences.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, heading back outside, you would see Ferret. The horse has changed again. And he looks at all of you. So, did you find a job then?
You could
Yep.
call it that.
Mr. Graves came out and gave me a series of places to go. So, seems like we're going to the weird way first, and we can do that.
Good man, Ferret. Claps him on the shoulder, climbs in.
I'm a child.
Still stealing horses?
What?
Never mind.
No. Just like literally like keeps eyes on you. Like Ferret typically just stares forward, but that's like say that shit. What's wrong with you? All right. Hopping into Ferret's Ferrari. Has a horse, it makes sense. You would find yourselves heading towards the Witchwood. Again, it's one of those weird things where when you look out the window of the carriage, the street seems to be moving by at like a reasonable pace, but like the buildings don't always end. Sometimes they shift into a completely different building. Like somehow the carriage is almost pushing itself through space in a way that is non-conventional. Um, let's do a streets roll. I would like to see who's been to the Witchwood before. I think Ruby, I'll give you advantage on this one. It makes sense that you might have been here. I'm not sure necessarily why the rest of you would have like a large reason to be here. So we'll just do a regular roll for the rest of you.
9.
I rolled a
Okay.
1, so we're doing great.
Okay. Hawthorne has never had a reason to be here.
I got a 6.
Okay.
I also got a 6, and I don't know why Leo would be here, so perhaps he also doesn't remember being here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Leo, you do have runes on your gun. Whether you carved those yourselves or whether they were carved by some of the witches here, witch spelled with a Y, who are themselves arcanists, psychers, occultists, etc. The Witchwood is a strange place in the city which can have, towering structures. It can have structures made of wood, stone. The Witchwood is a wood. It's a wood of towering trees where most of the buildings exist among the treetops themselves, built into the sprawling branches of this forest. And the city seems to, like, the street almost drops out where the wood begins, and a large bridge known as the Lunar Bridge actually carries you to these treetops. So it's also one of those things where you can be careful in certain sections. Not every part of the bridge has a railing, and it is a very long way down. The Lunar Bridge, fortunately for you on this full moon night, is straight and wide. It has no issues, no twists and turns, although those of you who have been here before would know that when the moon is waxing or waning, the lunar bridge is not always as reliable and can sometimes shift itself in accordance with the moon, and will not always lead you to the safest destination. Nevertheless, you take the bridge with Ferret in his carriage all the way to the Weird Way. It is a denser part of the branches where seeming back alley of shops is placed. You can find some of the stranger goods that any slayer might need, and slayers tend to have very unique needs. Perhaps some of you have been here to sell off some troll eyes or some basilisk fangs, or maybe to get some special arcane this or that for a particular hunt. Maybe you need a certain ingredient to take out a monster. So you find yourselves at the witching hour, which is one of the popular bars, and you have all of these streets placed around. Ferret stops the carriage. The street here again is like this large wooden bridge where every step creaks just a little bit, and there's all of these strange lights amongst the tree that gives it this fairy light sort of sensation. Realizing that perhaps some of these may in fact be fairies. And looking around, you can see that there are a number of shops and businesses that are open with that kind of soft yellow or even blue light streaming out. So, I believe the aggrieved individual said to meet you on the street. So, until that happens, have fun just walking around. I will be at your service whenever you decide to leave. Just yell my name.
All right. Thank you, Ferret.
Thank you. So you find yourselves on this freaking wooden walkway. There are a number of people about, although in other parts of the city where again people might have this like early Victorian dress or even like medieval style dress, depending on what district you're in. People here dress more elegantly and mysteriously. There's a lot of like um not art deco, art nouveau kind of
Nouveau.
style. Yeah, it's very like modern elf where there's a lot of like soft curves and lines, and some people might not appear fully as people. I think there's a certain vibe that every now and then you will lock eyes with someone who isn't fully human themselves, and perhaps your the bristles on your Slayer neck might go up as you might identify a werewolf, vampire, or someone with like I said, less than human blood running through their veins. But no one seems necessarily aggressive to you. Is there anything you would like to do?
I mean, I'm gonna. I think as soon as Leo gives his thanks to Ferret, he just like turns on his heel and goes into the bar. Like, no questions asked.
January is also going directly into the bar.
I
Okay.
think Leo may turn to his side, see January, and just like nod of acknowledgement.
How do we like look for clues?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can look for clues in any number of ways. As far as your skills go, if you're just kind of like looking about, let's see. That would probably be. You could try to hunt if you have a monster in mind that you're looking for. You could maybe use stealth to try to listen in if you're trying to like overhear conversations. Streets if you were just trying to kind of like get a vibe of what's going on in this part of the city. Study is kind of your general perception. I'm looking around for footprints or strange things about. Um, yeah, and then if you were talking to somebody, you would have like negotiate or deceive, perhaps.
Probably go with hunt because I think that's my strongest one.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you're looking for with hunt?
Just like anything that seems monstery and not the standard monstery stuff that's here. Something
Not
that seems a
standard, right?
little out of place.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll for that.
7?
A 7 for sure. Okay. I think a 7 is going to be you're picking up through your senses again, where you see your gunslingers heading for the bar. You pick up this kind of like noxious smell in the air, and you notice like through all the light and everything, there seems to be a little more streaming light further down, and you can see that there is in one of the shops, much farther down, kind of like through the crowd. You can see that one of the shops has a busted front window.
I kind of note that to the others and kind of go up to the bar and be like, "Not now. Work. We can come back and do this later."
This
Broken
is
stuff.
work.
Broken
Best
stuff.
place to get information is in a tavern.
I mean, yes, but broken things.
Somebody, maybe fine. Kind of drags himself away from the counter to follow Hawthorne.
Okay. So we're heading to the shop then.
Yeah, the broken window.
Okay. Yeah, as you are walking towards that, again, there's a lot of people kind of moving past. There's not a lot of attention being given to the broken shop window, which kind of indicates a little bit to you all that maybe this isn't a recent thing. Some of the glass kind of seems to be swept up into a pile. It kind of just seems like the window hasn't been replaced yet. The front of the building reads the Iron Nail. And looking inside, you can see just shelves and shelves of what you would identify as arcane components. Various jars, containers, some see through, some not, that hold a wide variety of unsettling and arcane components.
Author is going to turn to Ruby like, "That's all you. I don't know what that is."
I would think Ruby's probably been here specifically. So,
Okay.
gonna peek in, see if anybody's in there.
Yeah, there is a woman in there you probably have seen before. Um, we can say you remember her name is Belladonna.
Oh, good
And
name.
she's objectively very like attractive early middle-aged woman. But I think is yes, I see everyone reacting to that. Thank you. I think Bree Ruby would know that is not her actual vibe. This is a witch in the purest sense. But hey, everybody needs a 9 to 5, right? So she is always happy to help a slayer, and if you can't pay with currency, if you can't pay in coin, I should say, there are many types of currency that she accepts. Some that you don't even have to pay right now, such as the right to name your firstborn, or the ability to meet the love of your life. Maybe she'll take that in exchange. Various things can be used as payment here at the Iron Nail. But she has a broom in her hand and seems to be sweeping up, and definitely seems a little perturbed with the actions, just general body language.
Gonna open the door and peek in.
Yeah, a bell rings as you do, and she turns with these like just ice cold blue eyes and this wide smile where the canines are just a little protruded. And it's almost like as she's smiling, you see them like retract just a little bit. Like she's trying to calm down that she sees she has customers. Ah, hello, welcome. Please come in, come in. Um, I I recognize you. You were
Mm-hmm.
back for more basilisk cockles?
Not this time. Uh, we are on a kind of unofficial business. What
Oh,
happened to your window?
you were here about my theft. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I I have been the victim of a heinous crime. They have taken one of my most expensive items, a thing I personally kept behind the counter in a locked box. I have no idea how they knew it was there, and broke my window on their way out. Incredibly rude. And I have cursed their names, but I do not know their names.
Broke
So
the
Whoa.
window on the way out, not on the way in.
yes, they entered as customers, and I am not unused to odd styles of dress. Masks are not uncommon around here, but I guess I will be more wary in the future.
What were they wearing?
They were wearing these dark red robes and these bird-like masks, sort of protruding out like a beak. Uh, I could not see their faces. Gloves on their hands. Um, a strange symbol I did not recognize that they wore around their necks.
Did it happen to say cultist? Because the rest of what you're
Oh,
describing
if only.
sounds kind of like they might be cultists, which just so happens to be what we're looking for.
Right. I'm using literary tools to kind of illustrate general cultist vibes, but no, they unfortunately did not have just like the symbol like a license plate, a vanity plate. They couldn't afford the U. It's just CLTIST, which more so looks like clitist, and I'm not sure that's what they were going for.
What did they take exactly?
I'm not sure I want to disclose. I sometimes I work with things that are less than licit, that is to say illicit, that is to say illegal, that is to say you should persuade me.
I do have negotiate skills.
Please do.
Maybe. Okay, hold on. I rolled a 6.
That's pretty good. She leans into and she goes, "Do you really want to know?"
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
which is-
care if it's illegal. I just want to know how to get to
Oh,
my
you're
target.
cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, you're a little bit of a tryhard, huh?
Yeah, you don't have to read me that specific. It's fine. Just, you
No,
know.
for absolutely for filth. I see like a book, like a pamphlet. I've gone front and back.
Hawthorne's like marked me down as a little scared and horny.
Yeah, I've checked those boxes. She pulls out an inventory and she goes, "Oh no, officer, I definitely don't have this thing in stock." And she's pointing like this very long, like way too long, like clickety clack at the bank, kind of like can't even reach the keys, kind of long fingernail.
But are the
Um,
two like not?
yeah, yes, thank you, Val. Yes, why not? There's two that's not.
No, you don't.
Um, you get it? If you don't, I'm not explaining it. Um, but it is pointing at phoenix ashes. So she has this long list of things. You would know every single one of them. Not a good thing to have in your shop. A lot of things that are like extremely combustible or might turn you into like a troll or just like some real nasty stuff. But she has pointed specifically at phoenix ashes.
Would Hawthorne know what that is specifically?
I think Hawthorne would know what a phoenix is, and let's do a hunt roll because that is something about a monster.
That was a 5.
Okay, 5 still success. So Hawthorne would at least know that phoenixes are kind of often used as a symbol of rebirth. A lot of people in the cult of rebirth use phoenixes as their symbol, um, because they cycle. They burst into flames, they turn into ash, and then a baby is born from them. The reason that phoenix ashes are especially illegal is because taking phoenix ashes prevents that cycle from occurring. Taking the ashes and otherwise like disturbing them prevents the phoenix from rising again, and is seen as like a real magic taboo. Like you don't fuck with unicorns, you don't fuck with phoenixes. That's bad. That's bad karma. And so to have phoenix ashes, like you to especially want to have those for something, kind of indicates some nastier kind of intentions.
I have a just one question. These cultists, what did they smell like?
Oh,
This
that
is
is
relevant. It's not a fetish thing.
I think Leo looks at January with the most just like confused expression.
that is an interesting question. They smelled somewhat like rotten meat a little bit. Some cinnamon as well, like they were trying to coat the smell. Um,
Hmm.
I noticed their hands were very. They had dust on their sleeves and some sort of strange splashed nastiness on their coats. But again, not a strange thing around here.
um, Okay, there goes my theory. Sorry.
I'm very sorry to have squashed your theory. I'm also realizing as a GM, I've made a boo boo. Hawthorne, why don't you go and describe what you look like? I've completely
Oh,
skipped half of my players.
Hawthorne is tall, very kind of slender, not super muscular, which is the opposite of what I tend to do with the character, but it's fine. Um, uh, your short hair, like a side, like undercut sort of thing going on. Very like a simple vest with like a tunic, like a very no nonsense, like blade person, very, very ornate, but not too ornate that it gets in the way. On the sword, and then a little like knife, several other just sharp things on a utility belt level.
Absolutely. If we learned anything from Mystery Men, it's not enough to just have a shovel. You also need a bunch of smaller shovels. You can't just have spoons. You need to also have forks. Bree, what does Ruby look like?
Ruby looks like uh average height, like 5'5", wearing wizard robes. Trying to look very official, has the hood up, not because it's anything important, but because they didn't brush their hair and they're trying to hide it. Bags under their eyes, a over the shoulder, like messenger kind of bag with a flask hooked onto it. Just
I'm waiting for 5 years when all the teenagers are dressing hashtag tired wizard, and that's the style because that would, like, I can get into that. Make
If
clips
you're
of
on
that.
Tumblr, that's happening right now.
Yes,
I
thank
mean,
you,
I'm
Erin.
going
Yes.
to the Renaissance Festival tomorrow. Maybe that should be my costume.
There you go. Hashtag tired wizard. Bree, you could start like the the flake of snow that starts an avalanche. That could be you. Fantastic. So yes, we've gotten some clues here. Is there anything else you wanted to ask Belladonna?
Can you describe you said they were wearing a symbol. Can you describe the symbol?
Yes, it was oh, let me see if I can draw it out here. She takes a little like inkwell and the feather and kind of draws out what looks to be, as far as what you can tell, an inverted, so like facing down, black bird of sorts. We can do a streets or study roll if you would like to see if you can recognize this.
Study, please. 9.
Nice. Okay. Um, this symbol, she does indicate it was specifically this color as well. It was black and like bony. Does that make it bony? Um, Ruby, at first you're like, this is absolutely the symbol that a lot of people use for the cult of rebirth. This is a symbol of the phoenix. But as she turns it towards you, you realize that the symbol of the cult of the phoenix is often in reds, yellows. It's vibrant. It's a symbol of hope, of like the fire of life being reborn, that the bird is rising from the ashes. This one seems to be descending, almost that like it's falling from flight. And the skeletal nature of the bird is almost an inversion itself of the symbol of the cult of rebirth.
Well, that seems ominous.
Yeah, and it doesn't fit with what we've been told.
You mean they lied to us potentially?
Lied or didn't know?
I'm gonna go with probably lie. But you're right. It could be either.
I
Do you mind if
honestly
we go
thought
ahead?
that it could just be them. Like we were set up.
Do you mind if we take this drawing with us?
Oh no, please! It is yours. It is my handiwork. I will sign it, and there you go.
Thank you.
All right. What's the plan?
Other
Now
location.
it.
Now we go to the bar.
Now we go to the bar.
We got to focus.
We could come. Okay, Hawthorne. We go to the bar. We see if anybody else recognizes this symbol. It's where
Or if
most
anybody.
people are gonna be right now.
I
Right?
guess
We
that
It's
makes
have
sense.
noon.
one drink.
Noon, yes. Right. Okay, fine. Let's go. You win.
You'll have fun.
Yes, fun is a thing I know how to have. Hawthorne's
so
like,
go
should I
to-
learn how to have fun?
Leo
I'm-
kind of
I'm not
pats
your boss.
Hawthorne
I
on
don't
the
know.
head. You will one day, maybe.
We all believe in you. Okay. So yes, you go to head towards the witching hour, which is essentially just down the street. I would love a. Oh, I need to memorize what all these things are. I would love a perception roll. That's not what it's called. I would love a study roll from everyone, please.
6.
5, 2,
5.
6. Erin, would you
Which roll was it again?
study, please?
Okay. Hmm. Oh, 6.
6. Very nice.
Out of 6.
So, Leo, like, line of sight at the bar. I mean, like, absolutely just dialed in. I don't think you necessarily notice this individual who, amongst like all the crowds, like it's not like shoulder to shoulder around here, but there is a person who starts walking closer and closer to your group. And as the other three of you kind of turn around and at the last moment notice the bird like mask on this person, you hear the kind of like raspy voice of you won't be able to stop us. And he will throw something, some bit of dust or concoction. It flashes as it hits the boardwalk around you, and as you all watch the boardwalk begin to twist and creak, parts of the trees around kind of like coming into almost this like whirlpool-esque vortex that begins to culminate and push itself up this twisted bit of wood and vine that generates a mouth with teeth coming out of it. You will watch as what is described as a creep is created at your feet and begins to lash out its vines at you. Let's go ahead and do our speed rolls to determine our initiative. This will be our complication.
Do I have am I inside? Do I have disadvantage?
I'm not gonna say you're have disadvantage or anything like that. You just didn't necessarily see the cultist as they were walking up.
Okay,
That's,
cool.
Yeah.
8.
A 1.
Oh, I was like, I rolled a 2.
Okay. So let me actually get something to write this down because there is still a sort of initiative roll to this. So Bree, you got a 2.
Yep.
Erin, what'd you get?
1.
1. Okay. Val, what about you?
8.
Okay. And Seth.
Hilariously a 7.
Okay. That actually works out perfectly. Okay.
Seth
Cool.
does not know what's going on, but is on it.
That's Slayer instincts. Okay. Yes, this creep is generated, and the cultist is beginning to run away. They are still like they didn't just disappear. If you didn't want to do anything about them, but the creep seems to be the immediate issue, as its vines are already beginning to like simultaneously wrap around all of your necks. It's not like it's somewhat humanoid in shape. It seems to have 2 legs, but much as a tree branches outwards, it has generated all of these arms from its torso to try to grapple at all of you. So Val, what would you like to do?
Okay, so how does this work for Blade?
Yeah. So with Blade, let's Gunslinger and Arcanist Blade should be first. There we go. Okay. You can attack. You can use your attack action. Choose a monster at engaged range, which this creep actually would be, and roll your weapon die. Your weapon die is 1d6.
It's a 2d6 because I took an advantage that gave me, or the expert one that gives me 2.
Nice. And then if you get a 6 on that die, you can continue rolling until you don't get a 6, and then tally up that damage.
Oh, okay.
And then you
And
also can pick an action stance. So you can pick flow, parry, or slay. Flow is after you attack a monster, you may take a free move action. Parry, monsters need a 5+ to hit you instead of a 4+. And slay is +1 damage per hit, but take +1 damage from monster hits.
I think I'll do parry because I have for the quick action because I have one that the basic advance that lets me kind of be a defender. So any ally in my range, engaged range, I basically the parry applies to them.
Cool.
And then I guess I could just attack, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
The 2 and a 4. So none of that is a 6. I don't know.
Okay. It does not hit then.
Cool.
Well, actually, let me double check that because I want to make sure that I'm right here. Because your weapon dice is 1d6. You have a damage 2. Choose any monster in range. Roll your weapon die. Any dice that are hit trigger a combo. So yes, you do need to get. Well, the 4 is a hit. The
Okay,
4
so
is
I
a hit.
got
So
one
you
hit.
can. Yes, you got 1 hit, and you can roll again. You can roll 1 die again.
Okay, hold on. I have so many d6s for this. I came ready. Okay. That's a 2. So it's a 2 2s and a 4.
Okay, so you do 2 points of damage then.
Oh yeah, that's right, because the 2 misses. Okay.
Okay. Great. Next up, then we have Seth.
Yeah, I think it's going I actually kind of want to use my action to move closer to the escaping cultist.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I need to roll something to like get around the what's it called, a creeper? A creep?
Yeah, it's a creep.
Creep. If I
Let's
could
go ahead.
like
go ahead.
dodge that and try to get closer to the cultist, I want to do that.
Let's roll agile.
Sure. Well, that is a 1.
Okay. All right. You go to duck under the creep's creeping arm, and it sees what you're doing and kind of like shits out another like branching arm to stop you, and you're kind of like stuck in one of those like practice dummies that Bruce Lee used to fight against with like all of the kind of like posts sticking out. They're kind of just like all around you now to kind of make you unable to roll out. So you can still take. Let's look at gunslinger. You don't need to reload anything, and I think that technically works as your action.
Yeah, that should be my combat action, I believe, was
Yeah.
trying to move.
Cool. All right. It is the creep's turn. Let's see here. Okay. I think seeing Leo try to get out, the thing is going to try to wrap at you. Okay. So Leo, where's my, there it is. You are going to take 3 points of damage, and you are going to take 1 fewer action your next turn, as it has fully just like wrapped its vines and branches around you. That is it for its action. So, Erin, it is January's turn.
Uh,
Or I'm sorry,
did
Ruby. It is your turn.
already?
I apologize.
Okay.
I had an arrow and I ignored the arrow. So yes, Ruby, I'm sorry, it is your turn.
Okay. Going to take a deep breath and just feeling very frustrated at this turn of events. Going to cast Temporal Shift as my action on the creep. See if I hit. If I do hit, it'll be slowed and it takes 1 fewer action during its next turn, but only if it's hit.
Okay.
That's a 1. It doesn't hit.
Okay. All right.
Oops.
Good effort. Anything else for your turn?
Oh, shit. Have to
Okay.
mark corruption.
Okay. Erin, it is January's turn.
Okay. Because it is fully wrapping Leo, is it still grabbing onto me?
It's not grappling you. It hasn't wrapped around you, but it was reaching towards you. So there's no mechanical effect. It was just
Okay.
indicating that you all were essentially at engaged range.
I am gonna try and back up then to farther away from engaged range so that I can shoot it.
Okay.
And then the in the update, trigger limit was removed, right?
Yes. And if you are backing up, just give me an agile roll since I did have Seth do that as well.
Okay, I'm slightly better at agile than other stuff. That's a 5.
Okay. So yes, successfully not wrapped up. Then, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, she is going to back up to think still near ranged and uh just try and unload. I'm gonna say just she's gonna unload her entire barrel, her entire clip into it, except it's not a clip because it's a revolver.
Go for it.
Um,
Yeah.
so because I'm firing from a fully loaded gun, this is rolled with advantage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna roll a bunch. Okay, the first one is a 6.
Okay.
Second one is a 6.
Okay.
And that one, the second one, it is pushed from near to far range.
Okay.
And then third one, that one is a 4.
Okay.
So that one deals 1 damage and it has bleed.
I will tell you right now that that is enough to take the creep out. I don't know if you can redirect your last 2 or 3 bullets at the cultist, but you may.
Well,
I will
I
say.
do actually have the ability, and those last 3 did all hit. So I am going to try to wing the cultist with my last
Okay.
3 bullets, because I have uh the light 'em up, so I can choose more than one target.
Okay. Go for it.
Oh, it just 3 of them succeeded.
Oh, 3 of them succeeded. Okay. Great.
Yeah, I
And
hit with all of these. Rolling with advantage is really good.
yeah. I will say you absolutely hit the cultist all 3 times, and you watch as like the bullets perforate the like dark red cloak that the cultist is wearing as they run away. They don't seem to react to the bullets at all. Um, and actually after all of them, it's they this has a reaction after taking damage. It can take a free move. So after every one of those bullets, it's almost like it is running faster and faster away from all of you, to where it is pretty far away at this point. You could absolutely still pursue it. What would you? So I will also say the creep is kind of like withering away at this point. It's had all of the health sucked out of it, all the magic that was causing it to take on life. Uh, Seth Leo is no longer wrapped up, so all of those vines kind of like wear away around you. And this thing was kind of like pushed away anyway by the bullet, so it was kind of just like splattered into wood and kind of like that goopy stuff that your spinach turns into when it's in the fridge for too long. And you all are essentially out of combat with this. The cultist is not engaging with you, so like I said, you all can pursue, or you can consider yourselves out of combat. What would you like to do?
Um, for my quick action, instead of reloading, can I just yell for ferret?
For sure, yeah. You will yell out ferret, and like the people in the streets just kind of like split apart as going to the sides as ferret's ferry ferret's Ferrari, he just like rolls right up. Different horse. Hi! Whoa! You'll find a fight then, eh?
Yes, we need to follow that guy.
Ferret's eyes just like narrow and he goes, got it. Hop in.
Jumping in.
Okay. Whether you're hanging off the side of the carriage or sticking your head or whatever.
What I was just gonna say.
Yeah, absolutely. Snaps the reins, and it's like it's like those roller coasters that kind of like shoot you. It's not the ones that like click 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 all the way up. No, it's those ones that are like, hi, you're in a bullet now, and it like your face just kind of gets pulled back a little bit by the sheer force of Ferret moving forward. But yes, you very quickly are able to catch up to this cultist. What would you like to do? We can stay in turn order here. So I have top of the order. We have Val.
I mean, I don't have a gun. I'm just gonna. Can I? How far is this cultist like from?
I mean, Ferret was able to catch up like way too quickly. We can say within like one round, the cultist is running on foot. You all have a horse-drawn carriage. You have like carved your way through this boardwalk to get him. You are still in motion. Like the cultist is definitely running faster than you would reasonably suspect a human to be able to run. It's also very disjointed as well. The way the limbs kind of like the knees compress a little too far down when he runs. But I mean, you can absolutely stick your head out and swipe with a sword if you want.
Can I try to like tackle him and get him to stop running?
Yeah, absolutely. We can call that brawl roll.
Okay. Please work. That is a 9.
That is a 9.
6. Sorry.
Great. Okay. So yeah, with a successful roll, I'm not going to say you take any damage. And you are able. I'm sorry, it's a brawn, not a brawl. But you were able to kind of like roll with your body a little bit, take down the cultist. As you do, I'm going to say you also don't take damage because as you land on this person, it's almost cushioning. There's not the solidness you would expect under this cloak. You don't feel bones breaking. You don't feel like the feeling of like flesh and like a solid person under this. It feels soft, compressing, not comfortable, but just like there's definitely something odd to this as the shape of the body almost conforms to yours. And yes, they have stopped moving. So Ferret is able to pull the carriage to a short stop, and we will then go to Seth. It is Leo's turn.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I
You
think
can also tackle if you want. You can just dog pile the.
Hawthorne, you good?
Yeah, I think that didn't hurt, but I'm confused. This is definitely not human.
Gross. I think he'll just hop out of the carriage. And I want to go pull the hood back.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to say this is any roll at all. I'll actually call this a free action. You pull the hood back, and what you find is definitely that kind of like bird-like mask, kind of what we're thinking like plaguish mask. Those big circular eyes. It's wooden, which is maybe a little odd to you. But the head that it should be strapped to is straw. It is very scarecrow-like as you pull it back, and yet it is still writhing and fighting against Hawthorne's weight as it is trying to get back up.
Okay, that's not really what I expected. Are you gonna stop now, or do we need to keep fighting? And he'll kind of like, I could do this as an intimidate, so maybe negotiate. And I want to like put the barrel of my gun in its cheek, or where the cheek would be.
Yeah, typically brawn would be intimidating, but I do like this as a negotiate.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say I can roll whatever you want me to roll.
I,
It's
I, I
fine.
do like this as negotiate. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yay, 8.
8. Okay. With an 8, the the straw man actually like turns his head and looks up to you, and you see that there actually are eyes set into this thing, almost like the hollow points of like a scarecrow's face, and there is like a light coming from them, and that light coming from those eyes is very upsetting. It's almost stomach churning a little bit as it looks up to your eyes. And we're going to do a contested roll here. I'm going to do an agile roll. So I would like you to do either an agile or a brawn, and we're going to see who wins this one.
They're both the same for me, so I'm gonna do agile because it sounds cooler.
Okay.
That's a 6.
Okay. That is also a 6. So let's do another roll here.
4.
Okay. That was a 5 for me. So the scarecrow is going to reach up, and it will say nothing ends, and it is actually going to reach up and pull the trigger itself, like reach up to your pistol, and just like straw just splatters everywhere, and those lights kind of go out. And yeah, you're kind of just like Hawthorne. You feel the whatever, like this thing was breathing is the weird thing. You were feeling the straw breathe, but all of that just kind of compresses out, and you're left just on top of this cloak, these holes in the back of it with straw poking out, kind of just like on top of a scarecrow.
Well, that's bizarre.
What the hell?
That's where we're gonna go ahead and take our break. So when we come back, a little more investigation. We got our complication out of the way, and we can see what perhaps the scarecrow was up to. Stick around. We'll be back in about 5 to 10. Do the things. Please enjoy our ad reel. And in the meantime, if you've got a couple extra bucks sitting around and you want to put them towards a great cause, please consider NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. It's a wonderful organization that helps to advocate and assist people with mental illnesses. In this month of October, it is important to remember that mental illness does not have to be a scary thing. That we can tell stories about real monsters, but people with mental illnesses are not that. They are not monsters. So please, if you yourself are experiencing any type of mental distress, and God knows we all do, please seek therapy. Please get some help. It's a good thing to get that mental health. Your brain is as much part of your body as anything else, and NAMI is a great place to seek those services if you have nowhere else to go. Thank you so much. We will be back shortly. Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to Sword and Keep, where we are featuring the game Slayers today for the official beginning of our October charity month in support of NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to those of you who have already donated. It's very much appreciated. If you have a couple extra bucks sitting around and want to put them towards a great cause, NAMI is one of those great causes. Helps people with mental illnesses find services that they need, helps advocate to the rest of the world that mental illness is not a thing to fear. And in this month of things to fear, we want to talk about the real scary things like Dracula's and Frankenstein's and all that kind of stuff, or whatever horrible stuff I'm going to throw at my players here in a little bit. So let's jump back into things. You all have done a little investigation. You found some stolen items, or at least some stolen phoenix ashes, rather, from the Witchwood, as well as finding a straw man, a scarecrow of sorts, in cultist garb, who tried to throw a monster at you and then got his straw knocked out. So, with that, what are your next steps here?
I want to pick up the bird mask, and I want to inspect it to see if it's magical.
Yeah, let's get a roll for that. Let's say studies, kind of my gut on that one. Um, let's say study. Yeah.
5.
Looking at it, you can tell that there are like runes carved into it. There's definitely magical symbolism to it, but as you're holding it here, it seems pretty mundane. It doesn't seem like it has any lasting effects.
Weird.
And it does have that symbol around its neck as well on a pendant, and you can see that black inverted skeletal phoenix.
Does that mean anything to you, Ruby?
Uh, stop putting the bird mask on their face like they were 100% intending to do, and lean in to
Mhm.
look at the symbol.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Belladonna did a pretty good job recreating it, considering probably she only saw it for a short period of time. You can see that it's set into metal, even though it's kind of been painted, so it's kind of it's an inlay in the metal. And I think the thing that Belladonna couldn't depict in the drawing is that there is the outline of the phoenix, which is in black, but raised within that is the skeleton of the bird. And I think that's what she was trying to get across by saying it was skeletal. Or I could have made her weird and have her pronounce it skeletal, but I didn't.
So it's like an offshoot of the offshoot, or is it just like the original thing again?
I don't think it's an offshoot. I think it's the exact opposite.
How do we
I don't
stab
know.
it? How stab? That's all I got. I don't know this magic stuff. How do we?
Yeah. Tell me how to kill. I don't.
I mean,
Well,
it's really easy to stab one of these things. It's killing it that's more the issue.
well, the guns seem to do it, but we gotta find them first.
So now can we go to the bar?
I agreed with you the first time. This thing got in the way. Yes, we can.
That's true. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blame that on you, Hawthorne. It's been a weird day.
You know what? No, it's fair because I have been a little uptight. I don't know if you noticed. I'm sorry.
You?
No.
No.
Come on, we'll
Barrett
get you a
kind of
drink.
leans back. He goes, "I think you've been uptight."
I didn't ask you, kid.
Shut
Thank
up,
you.
Barrett!
Okay, I can't go to the bar. I'm a child.
Do you have a trench coat? You can ride on Ruby's shoulders to be one tall person.
Yes, I should be the head in that situation. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's make sure that the Arcanist can't see while we're looking for something that's clearly magic.
So bar. Hawthorne's just gonna pat Ferret on the head. We're gonna go.
Do you want like a cookie or something?
Do you want snacks?
No, I'm 17. I'm not like 5. All right?
Look,
This isn't
snacks
like
are great no matter.
Cookies are
I'm-
always good.
they
You're
are.
older?
It feels a little like it feels a little talking down. Is what I'm saying. Like, I'm
Aww.
I'm getting
employed.
cookies for me.
I have a
So-
job. Besides, don't you all have like some other place to be? Like, can you get a walkabout?
The bar where you can't go.
The whole like grubby sweet street urchin affect that you've got going on. It makes you seem like you're like 8.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, I guess. I mean, I was hoping for more of a Dick Van Dyke sort of deal in Mary Poppins, but you can't win them all.
Wait, does that mean the
Miss
accent
Darby.
is entirely fake?
It's all an affectation. I'm too big to go down chimneys anymore.
That's quitters talk. And then I just walk into the bar.
Oh, we lost so many teenagers to chimneys this year. All right. Okay. Well, you all go heading to the bar then. Um, you walk in.
This time
It's
Dante does turn and like look behind him. Or Dante, Jesus Christ. Can you tell where I got this character? Leo.
Legally distinct Dante.
Legally distinct gunslinger wearing a trench
the
coat.
clothing is different. Listen,
It's black.
devil may smile. Okay, yeah. You all go heading towards the bar, the witching hour. And this is a very vibrant area where there's you walk in. It has actually several entrances to it, almost like it's like it's like almost a tropical location sort of. And even within the bar itself, there's just vibrant plants and flowers all about. The bar runs the entire length, where there are several people, all of whom seem to have these kind of like magical effects, these physical affectations they have taken on, where their eyes glitter, or maybe like every time like the woman's long hair moves, like it sprinkles glitter out, not the kind that sticks everywhere, but just magical glitter. Like there's kind of like a fairy light all about to this place, that even walking in, it seems to give you this type of like almost like beer goggles, in the sense that everything seems to have that glow about it.
I think I like bars, at least magical ones. Maybe we should do magic stuff more. I should. This is a really nice vibe.
Or
See, I
bar
knew you could be
stuff
fun.
more.
I'm trying.
January is gonna go to the bar and ask what's the weirdest drink they have. Not the strongest drink, the weirdest drink. This is a magic bar.
Yeah, you walk up to a gentleman with pointed ears and these like just like purple, almost like phosphorescent kind of eyes. He has this slick back hair, sleeveless arms with all of these kind of like vine-like tattoos all the way down. And he kind of leans in as you ask for the weirdest drink, and he goes, "Listen, if you have to ask, you aren't ready for it."
Fine. Second weirdest drink.
We can do second weirdest. Eyes or no eyes?
Let's go no eyes.
I was hoping you were going to say no eyes. All right. He puts a cane up on the bar. You're going to need this. You're not going to be able to see for 24 hours. But all of your other senses are going to be incredibly enhanced. Now, listen, this is going to be more of like an inner kind of warmth that you're going to feel, and you're going to hear voices. Don't listen to them. They're going to lead you to some weird places. However, if you do listen to them and go to those weird places, it's going to be the best night of your life. You won't remember it for 10 years. Once you remember it, you're going to have at least 5 months of just a manic, just like absolute, why couldn't I remember this? Where have I been? How did I have this family? It's going to be okay. Take deep breaths and take this pamphlet. It's going to help. And he turns his back to you and starts just like shaking things up. There's a small explosion. He goes, "Whoa! All right. That was supposed to happen." And turns back around and just like literally slides a cauldron, small, just like cauldron at you that is bubbling a little bit.
January's gonna turn to Hawthorne and say, "You're responsible, right?
Sure.
I'm gonna need you to watch me tonight." She's gonna drink it.
Okay, all right.
Mission? Love. Hawthorne's just like, I'm trying to have fun. This is fun,
This
but
is fun. We're having fun. Listen, I was
okay.
that friend in college too, Valley. I get it. Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
sitting
this is
there like, I'm
great.
still waiting on my 10 years. Like, it was about 7 years ago.
Okay. For the sake of this game, I'm not going to impose any weird effects on you tonight, Erin, unless you absolutely want that. But yes, January is having a really good time. Anything anybody else want to
Time
do?
to do. Um, and I also, while I'm sipping this, try and like feel out the bar and see if they if like anyone has come through, or like if they know anything about weird straw guys or cults. or
So what do you think
skeletal
about the break
phoenixes.
in?
Mhm.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's do a study. Just kind of hear what else is going on in the city. I suppose this could also be a streets. Streets is kind of
Okay.
like one of those things
It's
where if
like,
you're,
could I potentially convince you of streets?
yeah, because streets also like understanding social circles. I mean, it can also be like eavesdropping. It can be knowing the cliques and factions and everything too.
That is a 6 for streets.
Huh. Um, with that, as you're enjoying your cauldron and kind of like again, I will say that for the time being, your senses maybe are a little bit peaked. Maybe your eyesight's a little fuzzy, but your ears are picking up on all these different things. And you do hear some chatter where people are like, "Oh, did you see what happened to the iron nail?" Yeah, no, real shame. But you know, if you're going to try to sell legal things, that's I feel like you're kind of asking for it a little bit. Well, I don't know. I've heard there's been a few other issues with some sticky hands around the city. Oh, really? And this conversation kind of absolutely peaks because they're definitely talking about what you're interested in. Yeah, I heard there was well, speaking of legal things, a book found its way into the librarium that shouldn't have been there, but didn't stay for very long. And weirdly enough, I have a friend over at Slayer's Row in the flesh market. He said that they lost an entire shipment of parts, was the word that he used, and it reminded me why I never go to the flesh market. So, anyway, that's why I stay here in the Witchwood. At least I know if I'm going to die here, I'm going to die interestingly. Go other places, it's just so just civilian. Anyway, have you tried the most interesting drink here? Oh, yeah. To shreds, you say? Um, that conversation kind of like goes off topic a little bit. You're still kind of listening in around. Another one kind of piques your interest a little bit. So yeah, they came right to my door, and I said, "No, thank you. I'm not interested in religion." So they burst my door open, tore it off its hinges actually, and held me at knife point. So I guess I'm now a member of the cult of unbirth, and I didn't know that was a thing. I knew there was the rebirth, but they gave me this weird little necklace thing. So I go to meetings once a month, and yeah, no, I mean it's weird, but so is everything else here. So I mean, like, what I'm gonna judge? I'm gonna say
Right?
that's what you pick up. Everything else is impertinent and or not pertinent to what you're doing, and yeah, for the sake of this mission, that is what you pick up.
Can uh are there any pamphlets that that guy has that I can snatch?
Weirdly enough, I've established pamphlets as a thing, so yeah, there
Right?
is that's on me. Yes, walking over to that table, you can see that the friend that he's talking to is kind of like flipping back and forth on a pamphlet where you recognize that skeletal phoenix symbol.
Can I try and feel it?
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's make this an agile roll. I think that that makes sense to do.
Okay.
It could be a deceive roll, I suppose.
It's a 1.
Okay. Your eyesight is very fuzzy, and you just kind of like limp wristedly smack the person a little bit in the face. Like your finger goes up the nose for just a second. They're like, "Whoa, whoa, okay, not okay. Consent." Like, can I help you?
I'm sorry, I didn't
I
know our friend couldn't hold their shit. Her shit.
I am holding my shit perfectly fine. Can I have that shit that you're holding, the pamphlet there?
Yeah, stop. Yes, please just don't poke my nose again. Or like weird. If you need boogers,
Okay.
they sell them. Jesus.
This was not Ruby, can you read this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Side-eyeing January, like, don't you know how to read? What?
You think I'm poor enough to do my own reading? Um, the pamphlet absolutely does feature the symbol that you've come to recognize. It is written in a script that Ruby would be familiar with, a language that is kind of common amongst many of the districts, and it seems like it is kind of, join the cult of the unbirth. You've heard of the cult of the rebirth. We're a brand new schism that practices in the true revival of life. The cult of rebirth really hasn't been successful in any of their endeavors to bring things back and has not really proven themselves as being the full part of the circle. We're the missing piece that you've been missing your entire life. What is dead may not remain dead. What is lying may not always lie. Join the cult of unbirth and see this city born anew.
Do you ever wonder why this city is such a hot spot for cults? And I'm just gonna hand it to Hawthorne.
Well, it's certainly ominous. I think we should try to stab that. Not the pamphlet, that's useless. But you know. Are you all good
Yeah.
with Gar? Are we happy?
Yeah.
Oh, they're like past January on the shoulder, like, are we good? Like,
I can hear everything.
that's nice. There are other senses that we do need at this time. Do you have those?
I can also smell everything.
I hate
Erin was
that for
just
you.
in a game with a Daredevil character, and I fear this is on me for this. I did this to you. I'm so sorry. You didn't play Daredevil last time, so you can this time.
That's fine. A little blurry vision. As long as you can smell everything, I'm sure you'll know where to shoot. It's totally
Yeah, it's a
okay.
person with a gun. What do they need to see for?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just help you aim. Don't worry, it's fine.
Hawthorne just sighs and it's just like, I'm fun. We're trying to lower our standards a little here.
I think
Personal
after
mantra, I'm fun.
Hawthorne, I think after we finish this job, we should come back here and you should try it when we're not on the clock.
Yeah, I like having. Well, actually, I'm fun. Sure, fuck it.
You are fun. You're so fun, Hawthorne.
You can't see me right now, so I don't believe you. But thank you. Oh, we should maybe check out the what was the other one?
Librarium or the Slayers. I don't
Or
know.
Slayer's
the
Row.
flesh market is where there were body parts.
You can smell that very well, so I guess we can do that.
Yeah, it might be a bad idea to go to the librarium with someone who can smell really well because it's just dust. There's so much dust.
Yeah, why not? Let's flesh market. Why not?
Okay. Exiting the bar then, the witching hour, you would find Ferret just kind of like sitting, just staring off into the distance, like just 1,000-yard stare, and the head just turns like a sharp 90, or just yeah, 90, yeah, not 45, 90, just to look at all of you. I don't remember my degrees there for a second. Just, hi, you back?
Were you
Properly
powered
inebriated
off?
then? I was in sleep mode.
Hmm.
Yes, every wanderer sleeps with their eyes wide open.
I need to learn that.
Wouldn't recommend it.
A lot of dry eye.
Yeah. Yeah, you think nightmares are bad? Try, doing both. Same time.
I don't sleep. Ruby did try to get inside the bar, like whatever version of cookie they had, partially for themselves, but also to give one to Ferret.
Yeah, there's weird, since
A
we're talking
Ritz
about cults,
cracker.
there's like a crumble cookie back there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way too dry. It's got like a slice of lime on it. Maraschino
Yeah.
cherry. Yeah, he's like, oh!
I am also holding one so that it's clearly in solidarity and take a bite. Completely blank faced.
You bite the lime?
You can
Maybe.
give that to the horse. You can give that to the horse,
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. We're getting a new one soon anyway. I'm gonna cycle this one. Okay. Just like sets it on the
Cycle.
seat next to him. All right. Where's next?
Leo emerges from the bar at this point.
Oh, you're
Oh,
alive.
I
Are
thought
we
you were
going?
with us. Where were you?
I was flirting with the bartender.
Oh,
Where
good
are we
for
Very
doing?
you.
valid life choices.
What's
Flesh market.
happening? Ah, cool. Love it there.
The bartender's like running out the towards you at this point. Just no role necessary, but you look like Dante from Devil May Cry. It's just yeah, of course. This is where people dress as witches. Like the aesthetic works. It's like going into a hot topic. Like it's just yeah, you won. Um, Piling into the carriage once again. Ferret snaps the reins and you take off for Slayer's Row, a familiar place to many of you. Slay a While being the tavern that many of you have spent your time in, finding some of your early jobs, perhaps even meeting each other for the first time. The Blade Academy, where Hawthorne has probably trained many days until until they found themselves very bored and found their way to the Coliseum. And of course, Blythe's Boutique, where you can change out your wares and vibe, and where I'm sure Leo got the custom duds.
That's where I
Different wares.
work. So
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right. We did say that. Yeah. But also the flesh market, a place that perhaps you have utilized its services in the past. Again, maybe a place where you have found some components for a hunt, or maybe researched. If somebody brought in a particularly rare or new monster, and you wanted to do a little research on how it works, studying the fangs of a vampire, how they puncture and absorb blood, or studying the venom sacs on a hydra. Any number of reasons, and you can also go and sell wares as well if you happen to be dragging something in. Maybe troll toes go a long way these days. Yes, the flesh market traders of literal flesh of all kinds, including monsters. The corpsers, who refine bodies down to their essential parts and work here, can work wonders with what you bring them. Meaning that slayers that doesn't actually butcher the monsters that they kill or hunt have a chance of getting bonuses if they can salvage some parts for the market. So you get to Slayer's Row, which again we've kind of established as this like gritty East London, early Victorian sort of vibe. It's still night at this point. The moon's still glaring down, and the carriage comes to a stop as just the smell of it all hits you. It is tobacco smoke. It is rotting vegetation. It is sewer water. It's all of these lives all compressed, just like sweat and body odor and just the smell of a city and smoke all just combining into one. Um, it's cool here. Definitely not as humid as it was amongst the treetops of the Witchwood, but still feels compressed as you kind of walk amongst the city streets. It's easy enough to find the flesh market because the fluid that runs into the drains tends to change color depending on what area you're in, and you would know the color of the flesh market being that sickly brownish red, that ruddy rusty color that tends to drain off. And following that backwards, that river, you'd find the bustling flesh market. Sounds of cleavers chopping through bone, the smell of meat turning, and people just hollering all about as people are trying to buy and sell various parts of monsters. You watch as wagons go by with eyeballs just like overflowing out the sides, limbs of all these different creatures, fur and scale and feather and everything in between. What would you like to do now that you're here?
I want to go to the stand that I literally just bought my dinner from and see
Sure.
if they've heard anything.
Yeah. There is a Scottish man that works there, McCormick, and he has this just like this full, very like long beard that's in a hairnet. He's otherwise bald on top, very rotund individual, and he looks down from his cart and he goes, "Oh, Leo, What are you back here so soon for? Are you can't be hungry after that flank I gave you?
Oh God, no, that's a week's worth. I don't know what it was. I don't want to know, but this is why I keep coming back. Listen, I'm on a job. Was wondering if you've heard of any thefts or anything even weirder than normal around here.
As far as I've heard, there's in fact a very weird one around here. There was an entire shipment that was stolen out of the warehouse out back there. Some strange hooded fellas came in, put blades to everybody, made a big hubbub, and honestly, it was just a bunch of bits and pieces, parts and whatnot, and we wasn't even that expensive, to be honest. We were just going to let them have it. So we did, and they carted it off. Well, it was early in the day when you were here. I didn't want to bother you with the news, so again, not a big deal. No real loss of money here or there.
Odd. So they didn't take anything particular, just odds and ends.
Literally odds and ends. Well, I think there were only two ends in there. Um, yeah, various different creatures, not even the same thing. Got shipped in from various parts of the city. In fact, it was a broker who was trying to sell everything in bulk, and there was definitely some bulk in there. Um, Half the parts were starting to turn in the first place; they were unsellable. Um, Couple of salvageable things here and there. Some Drake bits. I think there was some Griffin in there. A little bit of Hydra, maybe some Basilisk. I'm trying to. I mostly heard from around here and there, and it didn't sound like there was a complete anything. So, all in all, easier to cut ties than get cut.
Huh. Well, I'll probably be back in a moment.
Of course, I'll anything I can prepare for you. Just let me know.
And he will relay this information to the party.
Mm-hmm.
Go talk to the person that whoever was originally selling it in bulk. We should go ask them.
To the broker.
Mm-hmm.
Reason that would probably be at the warehouse.
To the warehouse.
And to the warehouse you go. Once inside, you can see that there are a number of the city watch, who are a just kind of like vast law enforcement operation. There's no real like central hub to them. Most districts of the city kind of employ their own, and their effectiveness kind of varies. At least here at the Slayers Row, a lot of them are former Slayers and do take their job somewhat seriously. You can see there are a couple of them that are looking about at kind of, there's broken doors on the warehouse. There's broken locks, and there's also wheel tracks on the wagon, where something was taken out, or something that was heavy was driven out of here. And you also see that there is a man who stands out from the city watch, who is an older dark skinned individual, who definitely is dressed in some finery, and is kind of like has his hands on top of his head as he's kind of just looking around in an aggravated sort of way.
What time of day is it again?
It is nighttime. It is full moon.
Oh yeah. Okay. Evening.
Hello.
We're Slayer to ex Slayer, maybe. I don't actually know. What happened here?
My things were stolen from me, is what happened here. Are you part of the city watch? Because I've already given my statement.
No, we're on a different job, but this might be related. Maybe?
All right. Maybe. What do you want to know from me that I haven't already said?
That is a great question. I definitely thought this through ahead of time.
I lost a lot of money here tonight, and I'm a little perturbed. Is I think the nice way of saying it.
Can I do a negotiate to just try and get like basically was there anything in there that he hasn't mentioned to anyone? Like what secret things? Like why was this taken?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and give me a negotiate.
I can find the right dice. I put all my dice in the same spot. That was very smart of me. That is a 6.
Very nice. So you're able to calm him down a little bit, maybe just by the presence of some extra people, kind of, especially a number of people, 4 of you giving him attention, 4 people who seem to be competent in what they do. You described that what you dress as somewhat fine, and there's a level of officialness to you. He takes his hands off of his head and kind of puts them at his side, calms down a little bit. Listen, you're not with the city watch. I'm picking up. Would you would you be able to perhaps get my things back?
I can't guarantee that. It depends on how they've maybe been, what they were taken for. That we can try if you pay us.
Get all of my things back in their original state, and I will pay you, and then it can be your problem.
No, just pay me.
We'll see what you can do. Listen,
That's fine.
I am a businessman. I'm a broker of many monstrous things that get sold to me by folk very similar to yourself. What I will tell you is this: not everything in that cart was of a general monstrous mundanity. I did have one item in there that was of some severe quality that I had hidden, and I would very much appreciate you not informing anybody of the sort.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
be.
we're not cops.
Wouldn't happen to be Phoenix, would it?
Now that's interesting you say that. I was trying to get my hands on some phoenix bits not that long ago, but they're tough because as soon as you take them, they burst into ash and flame and all that. It's real hard to get your hands on something. No, my particular uh, claim to some coin was some black dragon wings. There was one taken out in one of the southern districts not that long ago by some folk who didn't all make it out, and those can go for a mighty fine price. Everything else in there was scale and feather, a few claws, some eyes, a bunch of teeth, just bits and bobs, things to otherwise cover up the the real prize underneath. I don't know where they took all of it. I suppose it was just to get the wings and everything else, but they seemed particular, these individuals, these red cloaked fellas, that everything be loaded back onto the cart, everything that had been loaded off of it. And I thought that strange that they were going to steal all the dragon bits, and that they needed, I don't know, some of this and that. Like what do you need minotaur horns for? Those are dime a dozen.
Yeah, Ruby. What do you need Minotaur horns for?
What do you need Minotaur horns for?
I feel
Can
like
I
that's
make
the
a roll
setup
for
to a
it?
really inappropriate joke. Sure, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. You can
it is.
do a hunt roll.
Hunt. Do I have what's D8? Oh, 8.
Great. You would know that they are common in the marketplace as an aphrodisiac. Um, they make you horny. Yeah,
But
but bad joke.
um
Um, yeah, please.
I think you can just see the answer on Ruby's face. But Um, yeah, it was kind of on the tin. They make you horny. What do you do? Sorry, hang on. She's
You're
caught in
fine.
my shirt.
Yeah, you've
There
got
we
cat
go.
issues.
Uh, yeah, they make you horny. I don't know, maybe reading or something if you needed it, or some weird. I don't know. I don't use them much.
But listen, I
Tracks.
can tell you they went heading off towards the Wharf District.
Well,
Not sure what they went down there, but
And I try and use my enhanced sense of smell
mm-hmm.
to try and track that smell that Belladonna described.
Yeah, it's very thick here, in the sense that you smelled like rotting flesh and everything else. This is like you're getting the sense that this is the origin of that smell. That this might have been one of the first stops that they made before they hit Belladonna's.
Okay, well, what
But
if
I
I
will also
go
note that that smell does waft outwards as the
backwards, follow from where they came from?
yes, yeah. Go ahead and give me I think this is a study.
Yeah, I don't think I can argue streetwise for this one.
Like I know that stink. This is
That's a
51st
6
Street.
though.
That's 6. Okay. Then yes, I will say, as Matt Murdock might do, you can almost see the like a pie in a cartoon being left on a windowsill. You can see the scent lines just kind of like floating, the those little particles of stink that waft outwards, and those of you with line of sight might even see the wheel divots carving out onto the dirt street, which quickly becomes cobblestone.
All right. Someone uh guide me so I don't bump into anything, but I'm gonna follow the smell.
Hawthorne's gonna do their best.
Okay. Yeah, with a 6, you were following the smell, and it leads you outwards out of the warehouse and towards the right. It tends to stay at a straight line where you can almost sense that it takes a sharp turn exiting the district, and much as the gentleman said, the broker, this is towards the wharf district, which is the security officer district, of course.
Right? What do we find at the Wharf District?
Okay. So the wharf district is a decent ways away, but you absolutely would be able to walk. So continuing to follow the scent district and moving, I mean it's quite some time. It's a few miles, that you are walking through from out of the Slayers row and into the wharf. Nevertheless, you would know the wharf district as being close to what you all would identify as the largest body of water. It is called the Dive. So the wharf has hundreds of platforms that are all tied together with rope bridges. They all seemingly rise and fall with the wake of the dive itself. These dark waters that are just inky black, with the moonlight kind of shining down, so you can't really see much beneath them. Um, the wharf itself kind of has that sea. It's in the middle of the city, so you're kind of at, as far as what most people can tell, the center of the city. You can cross the wharf, you can cross the dive, and get to other districts if you take a ferry system here. But there's also some big, sometimes really awful things in the dive, and not all ferries make it all the way across. Um, but still, we have many sailors, traders. They're like full sailed ships who also will traverse across. Not anything as big as like a galleon, but you'll have some ships that are going to take a lot of things and kind of take the short way across. So even here, it's kind of the smell of low tide is always permeating in the air. There, you can always hear sea shanties being sung somewhere distantly, and there's this kind of like tide that is always kind of rocking anything that isn't tied down or anchored well enough. So there's also a number of warehouses all about here, and tracking as best you can, you find yourselves in one of the more solid areas of the war, further into the shore itself, where you can see that there are many sailors who are all just kind of milling about. It's late here, so there's not a lot of work being done. There's lantern light to otherwise illuminate where the moon isn't, and like I said, a bunch of warehouses that all stand very uniformly around you, that likely hold goods until they're ready to be shipped.
Can you still smell it, January?
Uh, can I still smell it, or does it smell like they sort of went onto a boat and left or something?
It doesn't smell like they've gone into a boat. It's kind of at this point it's dispersed a little bit to where you're not exactly sure if this is where it stopped, or it almost seems like the smell like fragments, like it splits off to where, even if I'll give you this with your roll, you can feel with your feet where the divots of the wagon kind of end, that weight being taken off of the wagon, so it's not carving into the dirt as much. And wherever the wagon went from here, it wasn't with all of the monster parts on it.
Carolyn's here. They all went in different directions, different ways.
Well, I don't think splitting up is a great idea, but
I don't think we should leave January.
true.
I'm fine.
Mhm.
I'm gonna roll I guess to read a scene and just pick a direction um that January may indicate.
Sure.
So I think that would be technically study to read a scene.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I could do that, or we could do maybe even streets for that one. But I do
I
like
would love
study
to
for
do
that.
streets.
We can do streets.
That's a 7.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I'm gonna say streets is another part of the wharf is the trigger. It's the name of a gun maker of what is the highest caliber. It's a good pun. But I have to think that Leo, probably January, have at least stopped by maybe for repairs, maybe just to talk shop sometimes, because gun makers are few and far between, and having one so close to Slayer's Row has got to be a decent thing. So what I will say is, Leo, you also know from being around here, a lot of these districts have gangs. The gang around here is known as the Broken Sails. They're led by a gentleman named the Captain, and they tend to mark their warehouses pretty distinctly, with their mark on the door. It's kind of a broken anchor symbol. And as you're looking around, you're also taking in where January is pointing and trying to note the warehouses that don't have that symbol on them, because if somebody broke into that, the broken sales would handle it themselves. And it's following down, it's looking at all the warehouse stores that you're realizing several of them have locks. Some of them that don't have locks have the symbol, but there's only one that doesn't has a broken lock on it and doesn't have the symbol on it. And you can see even from like the windows that are, about 10 feet up, that there is a light emanating from within, kind of a flickering light indicating maybe a fire or candles, something like that.
Well, this looks promising.
Mhm.
January, this looks promising. I know you can't see, but it does.
It smells
Hey,
promising, January.
does it sound promising?
So I hate that this has become a mechanic. I also love that it's become a mechanic. Jerry, what I will say you're picking up on more than anyone else, because again, I've established that there's just ambient sea shanties. You're picking up on a very low, deep voiced chanting that seems to be coming from this building. and that smell of rot kind of like seems to almost be seeping from under the door.
That's not a sea shanty. I think this is cult stuff.
Oh, so we are
What
on the
isn't
right
in this
track.
town?
Who wants to? Leo kind of like points at the. I assume it's like one of those big warehouse door or
Absolutely,
garage
yeah.
sort of lifts, and it's like, should I? And then one of you guys goes in. How do we? Do we want to go quiet? Do we want to go loud or?
They're
Go in.
chanting. I think we don't have time for quiet. There's probably
Really?
something. I don't know. Do you want to go in quiet?
Hawthorne?
Well, stealth is not one of my best stats.
All right, loud it is.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of want to like throw open the door.
Okay.
I'll roll
Yeah.
Brawn to do it cool if I have to.
You know, I would love you to roll Brawn to see
Yeah.
how cool it is. Or
That's a 5.
okay, good. I was gonna say, or how uncool it is. That is pretty cool. Great. Inside, what you see is perhaps something that I don't imagine it can be very new to you, as cults seem to be just like everywhere. They're like rats in this city. But what you see is 3 cultists all standing with their masks and one who is unmasked. This is not a straw man standing at the front. He is actually facing the other 3 and thereby also facing all of you, as the 3 masked ones have their backs turned to you. As the door flips open, they turn to look back at you. um the one who is facing you is chanting. He has a human face as far as you can tell, and he is standing at the far end of what I can only describe as a summoning circle. And in that circle, you can see various monster parts that have all been lined up together to create this abomination of a creature. You can see dragon wings attached to the back of the torso of a werewolf. You can see the claws of a griffin, the teeth of 20 different creatures all laid out in this large beaked mouth with these minotaur horns attached, the tail of a hydra, and all of these chimeric qualities that all seem to have been seared together with this strange powder that I have to imagine, Ruby, you would quickly determine is phoenix ash. And they seem to be attempting to bring life to this thing. And as the door flips open, they all turn to look back at you. And the one who is chanting points at all of you, and you see the cultists readying themselves to attack. Let's go ahead and roll your speed for initiative, please.
Dun dun dun. Yep.
6.
So, I'm sorry, I heard 2 numbers, but I didn't see who said them. So, Erin, what was yours? 2. Val?
It was 6.
Okay. All right. Seth?
I got an 8. I'm switching to
Very
these dice.
Nice.
These are
And
my
Bree.
favorite dice now.
I got a 1.
Okay. All right. And then the cultists are strawmen. That is the thing that they have. So I'm sorry, Erin, you got a one more time? A 2. So the strawmen got a 3, so they'll go there. And then the Doom Prophet, great stat block name,
Prophet.
is got a 5. So I'm gonna have Val go first, and we'll put Doom Prophet right there. Cool. That is all you have to worry about right now. We'll see how many turn orders we have to get through. So, Seth,
Terrifying.
Leo is up first. What would you like to do?
I
should
mean-
also note, while you can hear the Doom Prophet, while you hear that chanting, all of your attack actions are made with disadvantage.
Rude.
But we do
okay.
have the group advantage.
Yes.
That was donated.
So yeah, I think if it's like this moment where there's somebody who is obviously hostile pointing and then like everybody turns around and kind of squares up, then like Leo is going to go ahead and get ready for combat. We are going to, let's see, how do I want to do this? Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and spray some lead at the probably the closest cultist. I know it's probably a circle, but just one of those.
Yeah, there's three of them that are kind of in like a semicircle sort of thing. So there is one in the middle who would be slightly closer than the rest. As far as range goes, all three of them would be within the same range, which is, because range is weird here. I'm going to say they would be near, and I'm going to say the Doom Prophet is far.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and let's do. I'm gonna spend 2 bullets. I want to use. Let's see, since I am making a shot with a fully loaded gun, I do get advantage, so that should cancel out the disadvantage.
It'll negate, absolutely.
So I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Very nice. Both of those hit.
One of them does have the bleed rune on it, so what the cultist who is hit now takes 1 damage until it dies every turn.
Okay, all right. So I believe all of your bullets do 2 damage at the top. That is one thing
yes,
I forgot.
2 damage.
Yes, I forgot last time with the other gun, I believe. So that's 4 damage with an extra damage on its turn.
Yeah,
Very
the bleed,
nice.
I believe, is at the top of their turn.
You got it. Cool. Okay. Yes, that cult is looking pretty rough as those bolts kind of rip through, and the bleed bullet kind of has like straw just kind of pouring out of that perforation hole. Fantastic. Anything else for your turn?
Let's see here. I think I'm good. Where I am at, pretty comfortable.
Cool.
So I am just going to chill.
I love ripping a door open with like one hand and firing with the other. That's really good. Val, it is your turn.
How far is the Doom Prophet?
Doom Prophet is far. So as far as the distance goes, far is described as anything beyond near. That's helpful. So near is a short sprint away across the room or the street. So far would probably be like 2 turns of movement for you to reach.
And
you could reach the cultist within 1 turn, and then the prophet within 2. Or you could also just take all of like your action to move towards the Doom Prophet, but not be able to attack on this turn.
Don't want to get that far ahead of everyone else, be on my own. So I guess I will go for the whichever of the 3 cultists is closest to me.
Okay.
And I will also do the quick action parry because I took the defender. So like anyone around me, like it's an ally, it takes a 5+ to hit instead of a 4+.
Okay, awesome.
Being defensive. And then I guess I'll attack whichever cultist is nearest to me. No, I won't because that's 2 2s.
Okay. So the blade kind of like the cultist is, it's not moving the way you expect a person to move, because again, like the joints are all weird, like the knees are almost like inverted towards each other in the way that it walks, and the way it kind of like sways around you, you're used to something having like bones and tendons and like musculature, and this thing is just straw, and it's almost like liquid the way that it kind of like swoops around your sword blades. Anything else for your turn?
No, but I need to try to remember. I took scorn, so if a monster attacks me, my next attack against them is made with advantage.
Cool.
So I'm gonna try to remember that I have that.
Okay. Was the Doom Prophet's turn, but the Doom Prophet does not have any actions. He just continues to predict, which means you will continue to have disadvantage on your attack actions. And yeah, So it is the straw men's turn. One of them, enough straw floods out of that wound that it falls and just collapses into nothing. They have 5 hit points, and Leo was able to do 4 with that extra one. So one collapses. The other one is going to try to take an attack. Actually, both of them are going to take an attack at Hawthorne since Hawthorne kind of ran up there. So that is it's 2 4s, but you just did parry. So parry, they do not hit. Very nice. Okay. I believe that's all they have is just one attack each.
And Hawthorne just do like some sick like Matrix level dodge action there.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, like you think they dodged well? No. Like it's a dodge battle at this point. It's DDR. Dodge revolution. Great. With that, we are to Erin. It is January's turn. What would you like to do?
All right. January is going to say, all right, I want to give you a chance to explain what's going on here. So the first shot is just going to be wounding. Hopefully, I really can't see right now. And she is going to shoot 5 shots, 2 of the rune shots at the cult leader, and then the other 3 at random cultists.
Yeah, go for it.
I also have the thing that cancels out the advantage because I'm going in with a fully loaded gun. Okay, so first one, that one's a 3. That does not hit. Second one, that one is a 5. So the cult leader takes 2 damage and is pushed back.
Okay. Yes, the bullets penetrate, and the cult leader goes flying back off of this pulpit. Get the chanting as far as you can hear continues as the cult leader is struggling to get to their feet now.
And then for the other 3 shots that were at random cultists, the first and the third ones hit, if that matters.
Okay. Are you hitting 2 of the? Are you hitting? There's 2 left. Are you hitting 1 each or both on one of them?
1 each.
1 each. Cool. Okay. So with 2 damage towards each of them. Awesome. Anything else for your turn?
I am going to just reload 2 of those bullets for a quick action.
Cool. You got it. All right. Next up we have Bree. We have Ruby.
Okay. Yeehaw. I'm going to walk in a little closer and I'm going to boost and then cast Hex.
Okay.
So it'll be with disadvantage, but I think an extra d6. So I don't know how that works.
Let's see. Hex, because you've got a lovely list of spells. Hex, choose one effect. Effect lasts until the end of.
The effect I'd be choosing is Lockup. If it hits.
Okay, I think that's one of the extra ones. Where's your extra d6 coming from?
The boost ability, you can
Gotcha.
When you're casting, you can boost before you roll, add a d6 to the roll, and increase corruption. So I take 2 corruption, but
okay. But yeah, so as long as you get over a 4 between your 2 d6 rolls, it absolutely succeeds.
Cool. I think I got a 6. I did get a 6.
Very nice. Okay. And then go ahead and read the effect to me, please.
Okay. The effect for Hex for Lockup is target can move, and because I boosted it, the effect lasts 2 turns.
Okay. And you were targeting one of the strawmen or the Doom Prophet?
The Doom Prophet, sorry.
You got it. No worries. No worries. You might have said that. I'm just clarifying for me. Okay, the Doom Prophet is locked in place, so is now still maintaining far, pushed back even further than before, and cannot move. All right. Anything else for your turn?
Nope.
Cool.
Oh wait.
Uh,
No, never mind.
With that, we are back to Seth. Leo has made some good shots. There are 2 straw men left, both injured. A Doom cultist, or a Doom prophet rather, who is also injured and pretty far away. And then, of course, the undead well, I guess the dead abomination on the ground.
I think that Leo will actually call to January because he would have heard January be like, "All right, I'm gonna give you a chance to explain yourself." And just, did he have a good reason? You say anything?
I don't think you did say anything.
He's just continuing the chant. There's it's some language I'm not sure any of you recognize. Maybe Ruby might recognize this as a literal dead language. This is the language that is maybe spoken in like by the dead, like when skeletons and things. This is a language they speak that he is chanting. So yeah, he didn't really explain himself too well.
Well, that's too bad. And I am going to spray lead. I want to target. I don't want to do this. Fuck it. I'm just gonna target the cultist leader.
Okay.
And I want to spend the last 4 of my bullets to do so. So let me roll those. Let's see here. I am going to use the advantage that we were gifted.
Absolutely.
To cancel out the disadvantage to my attack. So that is a shit. Okay, got 2 4s, a 1, and a 3.
Okay, so the 4 will hit.
Cool. So 2 4s. One of those bullets. So those are 2 damage each. One of my bullets is a hollow point, so +1 damage. And then my last bullet does +3 damage.
Okay.
And then I want to use my quick action to reload 2 of my bullets since I'm now empty.
Great. Okay. It is at this point that you watch the Doom cultist collapse, just under the weight of the damage that he has taken. The chanting ends, and for just a moment, even the straw men, like when the chanting ends, they kind of like turn and they look back at the Doom cultist, who is just dead, just dead on the floor. And it's weirdly quiet for just a second until you start to see the blood from the Doom cultist trickling ever so slightly towards that summoning circle. And as it reaches the summoning circle, that sickening green energy that maybe you would recognize as being so very clearly necromantic begins to surge upwards. And as it does, those pieces, that long neck made of just disjointed cuts of ocean monsters and snake-like beings, and maybe even, like I said, a little bit of hydra here and there, and griffins and chimeras and everything else. This griffin, or this chimeric abomination, begins to rise, pushing one clawed hand into the ground to push itself up. Its snake-like head rearing this twisted draconic face, just beginning to stretch and roar with this husk of breath, with this dust roaring out. All of these various teeth, all disjointed in its mouth, and it rises as it will join the turn order.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
I'm in danger.
If we can all go a little bit longer, then, because it is our end time, so please let me know if we need to have a hard stop here and we can leave this as a cliffhanger. But you all are doing a great job, and I don't anticipate this taking too much longer. So, with that, let's see. Seth, that was your turn. So, Val, it is your turn. You still have the 2 straw men who seem engaged, or not engaged. What do I say? Like reinvigorated by the success of their ritual, and are still up, still looking at you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try to just attack them and take them out quickly to focus on the big bad thing. So I'm just going to attack them.
Go
I
for
think
it.
I get to attack with advantage. The first
You're no
roll.
longer at disadvantage.
No, I mean like what do you call it? I took a basic advance that the first roll of my attack is always with advantage, and then if a monster attacks you, your next attack against them is made with advantage with
Yeah,
scorn.
yeah, absolutely. Like you
So
said, so yeah, you would have advantage on one of them, or both of them. They
both
both
of them,
attack
yeah,
you.
because they both tried to attack me.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
All right, let's see. Be nice to me, dice. They're two different dice. Okay, they're not nicer. That's a 5. Well, that's somewhat nicer. A 5 and a 2.
Okay, you can re-roll the 5.
That's a 3.
Okay, so you get 1 hit then. So 2 points of damage, which is almost enough. The one has 1 hit point left. Anything else for your turn? Did you want to change your stance?
No, I think I'll keep the parry because I like them needing that 5 instead of a 4 to hit all of us.
I think that's a smart move.
Yeah.
Great. So it is now Strawman's turn. So they are going to take their attacks on Hawthorne. That's a 1. That's a 4. Both miss. It is now the worm's turn, which is what I'm going to use for this thing.
Worm.
This worm. This
Worm.
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 So this thing gets 2 actions. Let's see. Okay. Because we all gave a green on being consumed, I think I can use the devour ability, so that's nice. But not just yet.
Oh boy.
So let's go ahead and do
Uh-oh.
coil. So it's going to try to coil Hawthorne. So you'll watch as like the tail, again just like made of all of these like cobbled together parts, begins to wrap around your leg and like twist up your torso. Let's see here. So this is going to be 2d10 to see if it succeeds.
D10? That's not fair.
It just needs to get above a 4.
5.
Oh, 5. You're absolutely right. Sorry.
I'm making this easier on you.
Okay, so that is 2 6s. So, you are now coiled up. It's not like you're grappled or anything like that, but you are going to take 2 points of damage. And then it is going to look at, let's say, Ruby,
Uh-oh.
recognizing an Arcanist as something to fear, and it is going to try to spray acid at you.
Uh-oh.
That is a 5 on the D8. So let's see. That's Ruby moved a little bit forward. January is also back there. So that is, let's see, Slayer and anyone at engaged range of them takes 1 damage, and 1 damage at the start of their turns until the end of combat. So you're both going to take 1 acid damage. And unless you do anything like a mend roll, I will say, you're going to take 1 damage at the start of your turns as you have been sprayed with this like necrotic acid that this thing has lurched forward. With that, it is January's turn. So January, it stinks in here. And you have heard what can only be the undead rumblings of some sort of horrific creature. But it's pretty large, so probably pretty easy to hit with a bullet, you'd imagine.
Pew pew.
So Erin, what would you like to do?
Right. I'm thinking
You're all
of
good.
the moves that really I'm thinking of bullet order. I think that I am going to, yeah, I'm going to fire, actually, I will reload for my quick action. So I put 2 more bullets in there, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna fire all 5 of them. Okay, so regular bullets first. That's a 6 for one of them, 6 for the second one. Bleed bullet is a 5, and blast bullet is a 6, and then accurized one is a 3, but I get a hit because it's accurized. I get a hit on a 3+ instead of a 4+.
Okay, so is that 3 hits?
That is 5 hits.
5 hits. I'm sorry. Okay.
And
2
the
damage each?
last one,
Okay.
2 damage for 3 of them.
Okay.
1 damage for the bleed one,
Okay.
and then 5 damage for the last one
5
because it was
damage.
my last
Okay.
bullet.
So 7 plus 5 then is 12. Okay. And it's going to take an additional point of damage at the beginning of each of its turns
Mm-hmm.
from the bleed. Okay. Dang. All right. Yeah. Also, can I ask what all of your health currently is?
16.
No, you may not.
When
Too late.
if I took the 1 acid damage, right?
Yes. Yeah.
20 then.
Okay. Is anybody beneath 5 right now? I don't imagine you would be. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Terrifying.
No reason. No reason. Don't worry about
Does
it.
it have anything to do with
Um,
devouring by chance?
Out of
Yeah,
curiosity.
maybe. I mean, why would you ask a silly question like that?
Just RPG.
No, it's that was fantastic. That has done a significant amount of damage, and I will say you're even watching like parts of this thing like sloughing off at this point. It's almost like there was supposed to be more to this ritual. This thing is not a world ender by any means. It's kind of like it's yeah. They didn't have all the bits and bobs I think that they needed. Um, with that though, Bree, it is your turn. What would you like Ruby to do?
Well,
Kill
I
it,
want to
Ruby.
cast. I mean, I could do damage, but I don't do.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Killing it was a free action. I should have told you guys that the whole time.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Thank you. Good
Right
to
there
know.
in the rules.
Did I? I didn't boost that one. Damn it. Okay. I'm gonna do temporal shift again, but this time I'm gonna do it on. Hawthorne, and I'm gonna boost it. And I also enhanced that one. So if I hit, you get 2 more actions on your next turn.
Very nice.
So let's try. That's a 5 on one of them, so it hit.
Very nice.
So
Okay.
you get an extra action on your next turn. 2 extra actions on your next turn, and because I have enhanced it, you can do the same thing twice. I know. And for my quick action, I'm going to try to purge some, what the fuck it's called? Purge some corruption, because I'm getting up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I lose 1 point of corruption. I rolled a
Okay.
7 on it.
What do you think the corruption looks like for Ruby? Is it like the black veins you often see, or would it look a certain way?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking something like that. Do you know, oh no, Iron Man 3, the fire
stuff.
yeah, yes. I was kind of thinking that specifically because I took Corrupting Wave as one of my spells. So
Incredible.
it's just a build up inside of them.
So that kind of wears away a little bit. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Back to top of the order with Leo. What would you like him to do?
Kill it? You
Yeah.
said it was a free action.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
All right, cool, thanks. Yeah, so I'm just gonna be spraying this lead. I am gonna dump all 3 of my chambers into it that I have loaded. So let's see what we get here. 2 of them are gonna hit.
Okay.
So I've got 2 hits. One of them is with a hollow point, so it's gonna be a +1 damage. So that's 1 for 3. The other one is going to be a total of 5 because it's my last bullet.
Okay.
Quick action, I will be reloading 2 of my chambers.
Incredible. Okay. Great. This thing is looking really rough at this point. Val, it is Hawthorne's turn. What would you like them to do?
Do extra actions.
I was gonna say,
Extra
how
actions.
close am I to the worm? The worm.
Yeah, because this thing also
Wrap,
has
right.
it is huge, which considers anybody near in range to be engaged. And this thing did coil at you, so you've got this thing's tail like right there. It's also just like kind of looming up over you.
Can I try to cut tail off and
Yeah.
just basically just attack it. I get advantage, I think, on the first roll.
You do?
Please be nice to me. That is a 6 and a 4.
You can re-roll both of those.
That means I get to, like, they do damage and I get to do more damage,
Correct.
right?
So right now you've done 4 points of damage, and then you get to add additional ones depending on how many successes that is.
A 1 and a 5.
Okay, you can re-roll the 5. So far you've done 6 points of damage.
And a 2. Okay.
Okay.
That's why I gave you the 2 extra actions because of that.
Yeah, I was gonna end, but I've got 2 extra actions.
You have 2 extra actions.
We are
You
going
also,
to
you have 2 straw men as well.
Oh, that's right. But they're over there. We're just gonna attack the big guy.
What?
How many points of damage was that?
That was 6.
6.
You
Okay.
did your last one. Yeah.
I'm just gonna use that action to attack again.
Yeah.
The worm.
Okay.
6 and a 1.
Okay, you can re-roll the 6.
That's a 4.
Okay, you can re-roll that.
This is fun.
When the blades go blading.
That's a 4 again. I'm
Okay.
serious. Like,
Yeah, keep
not
going.
me.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
And that's another 4.
Okay. What's that Simpsons meme? Like, stop, it's dead already.
It's already dead.
Finally, I get good dice rolls. I'm so happy.
You can keep going if you want to take the straw men with you. Like, that's
Sure.
Yeah. Let's
Why
see.
not? Okay, no, that's a 2.
Okay, you do have one more action. I'm not going to rob you of your turn.
Okay, why not just say fuck it and
Why
go
not?
Decimate
for it?
them. Why not? Be cool.
Alright. Well, that went far. Don't mind that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try and read what
I
that
hear
was.
that rolling away.
Yeah, that was
It's fine.
that's good gaff work.
There's a 2 and a 6.
Okay, so you re-roll a 6.
This is ridiculous.
One of the straw men is now down.
That's a 4.
Okay.
That's another 4.
Okay. So
Obscene.
please keep re-rolling until you stop. But yeah, they're all dead.
That's a 5.
Okay.
I was trying to keep dropping
Well,
them.
I got time blocked out. Like we're good.
That's a 6. I'm not
Okay.
lying. Okay, and
I'm
that's a
glad
2.
this-
We're done.
There we go.
I'm glad this plan worked out.
So
Oh,
you
that's
all
hilarious.
watch the very like straight-laced, maybe a little too uptight blade just go into a frenzy. Like
Lose
the Drake just collapses. It's being like absolutely just diced up at this point. The straw men, like I have to imagine Hawthorne is just like heavy breathing as they're just stabbing into straw.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I am fun. This is fine.
Yes, screaming, I am fun. Yeah, okay, yeah, congratulations. You all have defeated all the cultists. You have stopped their dark ritual, and the Death Drake has been felled, or what was going to be the Death Drake. So, with that, no, stop the music. Thank you. With that, congratulations. You have succeeded on your Slayer mission. We're running just a little bit late, but I will say that you return to your handler and the church themselves, discovering that this was in fact an offshoot of the cult of rebirth, a cult within a cult. Mormons, Lutherans, whatever you want to compare them to, who were a cult of unbirth, a cult of undeath, seeing that reincarnation couldn't be proven, but necromancy sure could be. So why not lean into that? They were trying to summon the legendary Death Drake, a being that was said to bring darkness and all things that had ever died within the city back to a form of undeath, bringing the city under a new reign of undeath itself. Judging by the fact that there was kind of like one guy with a bunch of straw men that he had brought to life, probably not the most successful cult so far, but probably one that was going to be a pretty big problem in upcoming days had you not stopped it. So you all receive quite a bit of gold, enough to keep you going. But do you really do this for the gold, or is it
Yes.
more for something? Heavy nods. Okay, a couple of shaking heads. I was going to say there's maybe there's a deeper draw that makes you a slayer in the world of the city. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to these amazing players. Thank you to those who donated. Again, this is just the beginning of Sword and Keys October Charity Month, our Halloween Charity Month. The games only get scarier from here. Maybe, I don't know, this is pretty scary. So we'll have even more stuff coming up tomorrow for the NAMI Charity Month. That will be the first part of our two-part of Night of Fright Part 2. If you enjoyed Night of Fright Part 1 last year, I've got the same cast back. It's Scooby-Doo D&D, and they're all fantastic. And this is Night of Fright 2, The Lich's Ghost, which I believe also references the Scooby-Doo movie with the Hex Girls. I believe it, because it's all like, not
10
name
out of
brand
10.
stuff. So, yeah, it's gonna be great. So I highly recommend checking that out. That'll play this Sunday and next. And I'll talk about all the calendar stuff here in just a moment. But before all of that, I want to shout out these amazing people. So let's go ahead and go around. If you have any things you'd like to plug, any projects or things that you make, or just socials, whatever you would like to do, the time is yours. Erin, if you don't mind starting us out.
Oh boy. Hi, I'm Erin. I am basically everywhere on socials that I want you to find me as Vale's Edge Games. Um, I do actual plays. I also make games. You can also find me under Vale's Edge Games on itch and find my games there. Um, and yeah, it was great to be here.
Always great to have you around. I highly recommend casting in Erin in your future things, checking out Erin's games. You really can't go wrong. There's some really great stuff over there. Next up, Val.
Oh, hi, that me. I'm Val or Space Valkyries. You can find me pretty much everywhere as at Space Valkyries. I write science fiction and fantasy under the pen name VM Ayala, and I'm just gonna keep yelling about this because I have a physical short story and an actual anthology. So if you would like to pick this up literally in like 10 days, I'm freaking out about that. It's the best American science fiction and fantasy 2024. And my short story about big gay robots is in it. So if you would like to read that, please do. Yeah, that's me.
Dude, that's amazing. That's absolutely awesome. Congratulations. Um, yeah, and also again, cast Val and wish Val some luck. Val has like an exam after this, so
Oh,
yeah,
good luck.
Little midterm,
yeah,
yeah.
you got this.
Godspeed. You can do it.
You got this.
I'm gonna chop its
Uh,
pieces.
I
next up,
believe in
Bree.
you. Hi, I'm Bree. Hi or goodbye. I don't know. I'm Bree. You can find me on Twitter at bookworm7894. Everywhere else that I am is Bree is on fire. I am going to be hopefully starting up streaming on my own Twitch channel again soon. So I play games like Scarlet Hollow, which I love to death, and stuff like that. Uh, and yeah, I hope to get back more into actual play now that things in my life have started to level out.
Absolutely, and best of luck with your channel. We can't wait to support you over there. Last but absolutely not least, Seth.
Hi, I'm Seth. You can find me on Instagram and nowhere else at seth.mp3 because I don't like social media. You can, however, find me here at Sword and Key on Thursdays playing Vesper and one of our home games called Zenith, which is super fun. I am hoping to actually kill something this coming week. That would be dope. Um, Other than that, you could just find me on Instagram where I post basically just shit post memes and talk about my cats and or whatever I'm cooking at any given time. This was super fun. I like it enough that I am probably going to buy a copy of it. This was a super fun system. I love the whole vibe of it is just like right up my alley. I could not have asked for a better cast of people to play it with for the first time. All of you were incredible. I really enjoyed sharing this story with you guys, and I hope to get to play with you guys again soon.
Thank you so much, Seth. Thank you again to all these fantastic people. Please go support them in any way you can. Follow us on social media or just, general support of the things that they make or do. You can't go wrong casting them and anything like that. Hell, send them a coffee or Ko-Fi or however it's pronounced. For Sword and Key, for me, I should say. I'm Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. I have been your GM for this game and many games here on Sword and Key because I am the sword half of Sword and Key. Sword is my last name. Yes, it's awesome. No, you can't have it. I'm so sorry. I will be here again in an hour and a half for Horizon's Call. And I will be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Humblewood. And I'll be here tomorrow after that at 3 p.m. All Pacific time, I should say, for Night of Fright 2. I've decided to put 12 hours of streaming into my weekend because I'm great at planning. But for Sword and Key, this is our October charity month. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I'll back up a little bit and say that if you want to follow me on social media, it's dsword16. But I highly recommend you find or check out Sword and Key stuff because most of what I do is just retweeting and reposting Sword and Key stuff. All of Sword and Key can be found, all of our stuff, beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find our affiliate ships. We have some really cool ones where you can get some really nice discounts on stuff. We're affiliates with Hit Point Press now, so if you're ever trying to get a copy of Humblewood or any of their amazing products, please use our link for that. If you are looking to get some custom miniatures made, we're affiliates with Eldritch Foundry. I believe it's the final days for Greenleaf Geek Dice, unfortunately, but we are still affiliates while they are still in operation, so you can get some really great discounts over there as well, as they unfortunately do have to close up shop. And also some makeup. If you're looking to get some new makeup from a UK-based, queer-owned vegan brand, it's Wishbone Cosmetics, and all of our codes are on our beacons. You can find our social media there. You can find also our ongoing philanthropic endeavors. So if you want to donate to NAMI, if you want to donate to Fauna and Flora International, if you want to donate to Palestine Children's Relief Fund or Canine Campaigns for Independence, we've got some great selections over there. If you're ever looking to put some money into a great cause, and maybe get some, tax deductions or whatever. Talking about Sword and Keys calendar. So right after this, like I said, at 3 p.m. Pacific time, we have Horizon's Call, which will continue until the logical conclusion of this season, and then we'll probably take a little break as the holidays come in. Tomorrow, the 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we have the return of Humblewood Yonderbound, which is our second season of our Humblewood game. We also have Night of Fright Part 2, the first part of that. On Monday the 14th for, let's see, we have 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. We have the return of Journey to Book's End, which is our cipher game run by Mare, which will it features like fairy tale characters who are all trying to make it back to their book homes. Gate Night, which is where myself, LD, and Shadow all play Baldur's Gate 3, is at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on all Tuesdays. It's the only video game we currently stream here on Sword and Key. On the 16th, we have a special one shot that is part of the charity month, Call of Cthulhu, which is a Call of Cthulhu game where everybody plays cats. It's being run by Wild, and I'm very excited for that one. That's 4 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday. On Thursday, the 17th, is the next episode of Zenith, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Seth is in that. Fantastic cast in that. Yeah, like big city, like how do I always have a thing that my brain just shut down. It's like big city reputation with like, everybody has like a knife in the back, and it's all about like trying to rise to the top where magic is power, but also power is power, and like nobody's a good person, but also everybody's hot. It's a great game. Highly recommend it. On the 18th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, we have Woodland Gods, our Woodland Gods, a hack of that run by Anik, again, part of the charity month, followed by our movie nights. We have movie nights every week throughout October, double features where we're watching two movies every Friday night. You can only watch those on our Discord, which you can also find through our beacons. You can join our Discord there, hang out with cool people, talk about cool stuff. And yeah, watch movies. This coming week, we are going to be watching Prey, the Predator indigenous movie, and also a Out of Night, I think is what it's called, which is Out of Darkness, which is a prehistoric like horror movie, and it's a different setting for horror, and I think it's really cool. Horizons Call will be back every Saturday. Humblewood's going to play every Sunday. Journey to Books End every Monday. Gate Night every Tuesday. Zenith every Thursday. The only other thing to note for this month is we have the one shot of Stop Flaming Preps, which is a game that is a Honey Heist hack made by LD, being run by LD. It is based off of the Harry Potter fanfic, infamous fanfic, My Immortal, which is like Harry Potter vampire early 2000s Hot Topic inspired, where everything is gothic, and it's definitely not written by, like, the original story was definitely not written by a teenage girl with a big crush on Malfoy. Highly recommend that. That's going to be a great game. And then that'll pretty much round out the month. And like I said, we'll have some more casting calls out soon as the holidays maybe die down a little bit. We'll still keep active during November and December, but I will definitely be taking a little bit of a break. So again, thank you for supporting us this month, for supporting the wonderful cause, for hanging out. Thank you for doing this wonderful cast. I believe we're going to be rating Valdrianth tonight or today, whatever time it is. So go spread some positivity over there, and again, take care of yourselves. It's an important month. It's an important time. Take care of yourself and take care of others. Put your money towards a great cause, but always take care of yourself as well. We appreciate you. We'll see you very soon, hopefully for Horizon's call. And until then, be kind. We'll see you soon.